now muted. So welcome back, everybody. It's lovely to see you all here again, and welcome back to Death's Curios, our Unhallowed Metropolis RPG, a Victorian horror game that we run every week. For the last 2 sessions, I've been away, and the brilliant Left Lindy has been giving us some interesting gangster times in London, which has had quite the effect. So, since then, there's been a few things that have happened. So we'll cover that. But before we get into the game and before we get into everything else tonight, we have one little thing to do, which is our little choose your own adventure that we do each week, which we are now going to go through. So at the end of this narration that I'm going to give you, you'll have a choice to make, one of 2, and then we'll decide what result that is next week. So, since I left you all to Lindy's own devices, you have decided to follow a glow in the basement. You went down a trapdoor, down the dark hallway and stairs, and found a musty scent that was coming from the area, a cold and damp area. You walked down, and the glow got brighter as you progressed. You decided to go and see the room, and ended in a strange, large chamber, a brazier set in the middle of the room, low embers producing the faint glow. And you saw on the walls at either side of the room there were large cages, but it's far too dark in the room for you to see what was in there at this distance. You all decided to look into the cages to see what you could find. You approach, slowly, your heart hammering in your chest, each step feeling agonizingly loud, even as you try and keep quiet. Your heart racing, your breath becoming quicker, sharper with each step towards the dark cages at the side of the room. And as you get towards it, you see quite the sight. You see what looks to be hooks upon the roof, and on each some sort of tatters of meat that you can see presented, hung upon each of the hooks, writhing slightly. And as you look at those, something else catches your eye. There's an object on the floor, something glistening in the center of the cell. There's quite a distance between you and it, but as you look towards the cell's handle, you see that there is no lock upon it. And as you toy with the handle for a moment, you feel it click and unlock. It's at that time that from distant behind you, back in the other rooms, perhaps the stairs or even the trapdoor above, you hear a noise, a single scrape and one tap. Do you investigate the cage further and see what this object is that lays inside of it, pushing your way through the writhing strips of meat? Or do you turn and find whatever that noise was behind you? In just a moment, you'll see a vote going up, and you'll decide the fate of this very lucky individual. And that should be popping up right now. So without further ado, we're going to play a little introduction trailer, and then we're going to go into a message for our sponsors before we'll introduce our party, and we'll be moving forward with the sessions that you've all come to know and be familiar with as we get back to our very interesting detectives. So, until then, I'll see you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, It's good to see you all here again, and welcome back from just before we did the little game. So we're going to go around, we're going to have everybody introduce themselves. They're going to tell you who they are, who they're playing today, just to remind all of you who, of course, may not have seen the other episodes, or even who've tuned in for the last 2 weeks and haven't caught up with the other episodes yet. Or just if you want to hear their lovely voices again introducing themselves. So we'll go straight across to my side here and go with Delilah Berkeley. Welcome back.
Hi, good to be back as usual. It feels really weird to be not like in red hair after 2 weeks of that. So, I am Loria Lark, or Lark Loria on Twitter, and I will be playing Delilah Berkeley today. She is the wife of Lord Berkeley, therefore making her a lady, and she is an American living in jolly old London, trying her best to fit in and make ends meet while her husband has gone missing. Not that the public knows yet. Good stuff. Of course. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's all good stuff when your spouse goes missing and you have no idea where they are and you have strange things.
She does. She does.
Yeah, you have
He's in a mirror.
More of an idea of where they are. They're in the mirror. That's totally explainable. And so, moving on to Magdalena. Welcome back.
Hello, it's good to be back. I'm so excited to be Magdalena again, who's just a normal Romanian immigrant, eccentric painter, definitely not an almost 450-year-old Dampier. You know, just
Possibly
a totally
not,
normal lady. Yeah, just totally normal. Has never eaten a soul. Just is happy to be here. I'm very excited.
Good, and I'm excited to see Magdalena back. I'm interested to see what you'll do, and if Chicken Boy will continue to bring many more chickens to your household. And let's move on down to... Of course. Let's move on to Miss Fairchild. Welcome back, Shakes.
Hello, it's so good to be back. I'm so happy to be back. It's so nice. I am Shakespeare, and I'm playing Miss Fairchild, who is a mourner of, good reputation and grace, who's been living a fairly solitary life until she was thrown into this contract with these very strange people because of the very dark secrets that she's keeping. She's on edge, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be so great. I love it.
I'm sure it will be. And on edge is exactly where we need all of you, of course, with those threats that you received the previous game we had. And speaking of threats that were received, Tillie Griffiths, welcome back.
Hello, I'm from Dumbledore. I'll be playing Tillie Griffiths, the detective, who is in over her head, I think is probably the best way to put it, as is everyone else. But she's feeling especially pressured right now after last session.
Maybe. And so moving on to, last but not least, of course, our brilliant doctor, Dr. Vogt.
Hi, Greybeard Tavern, and I will be playing the Dr. Vogt this evening. He's definitely doesn't have a private morgue where he has bodies lounging and thousands of daguerreotype pictures of brains and other such bodily organs. Nope, not at all. There's none of that going on. So,
none of that at all. No, that's completely understandable.
But glad to be back.
Happy to have you back. So we're going to be going to a quick message about our sponsors, and then we'll be jumping straight into our game. So we'll see you in just a moment whilst I find the button to click.
Before we begin today's show, I would like to take some time to remind you about our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the beautiful maps and rolls you see tonight are done using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer and 40k minis for up to 20% off regular retail price. And Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. Go and check them out at tabletoploot.com.
And welcome back again, everybody. So we're going to get straight on with things. So when I last saw this wonderful party, I was sorting out they were dealing with a underground criminal issue with the American mob. And They were allying themselves with Robbie Carr, a leader of what was the London gang of the locals, so to speak. There was a very, very, very British gang. This is a very, very American gang that was taking over most of the city one by one with force. And our lovely detectives here had a unfortunate run-in with them all. So, at the end of that, unfortunately, Robbie Carr was taken as a hostage by the Americans, and many of his gang died. And in the previous 2 weeks, Lindy has been running a game where they had members of that gang's loved ones trying to get back at the Americans for what they did. And so we'll see some results from that this session. But when we last left our detectives, they had received strange threats after looking into a mask, the Mask of the Tortured Heart, a strange artifact that was missing from the Museum of the Occult and Strange, something they have been asked to retrieve. They received a message telling them in no mixed words to stop their investigation, and some of the more spirited members received threats more directly, with Tillie Griffiths having had her tutor stolen from their home, signs of a struggle and blood in the area, Magdalena finding a stake in her room, not the meat kind, the wood kind, and also Miss Fairchild, of course, finding their own threat of a note on their child's door at home. Dr. Verrucht also received his own kinds of threats, but Delilah received none, seemingly. So we'll pick back up. It's been 2 days since we last saw all of our detectives, and London's been in quite the uproar. The lower city has been alight with tension, with violence, with drama. And the upper city, on the other hand, has been quiet, calm. There are small preparations being made for a festival that's about to come on. It's approaching the 31st of October, and they're all being rather excited for celebrating Halloween in the upper districts at the very least. There have been some specialty pumpkins grown, which are in very limited quantity, and people are very much wanting one for their own house or their children. The nobles are spending hand-over-fist money to get these things. And people are buying costumes and preparing decorations around the Upper London, with a notable area being ran by what seems to be a traveling circus, having put on a show, and to have an even bigger parade on the day itself. All of you have heard of this and seen the preparations. It's quite the buzz in the city, in the upper city at the very least. But more news comes to you in the morning, as each of you hear the people delivering the papers shouting up as well, letting you know the headlines. Struggle in Upper London, struggle in Lower London, gang warfare in the lows, Americans in English, bloodshed and fire. An old shoe factory is burned, but we're in luck. Lower London is not on fire today. And each of you receive a paper through your letterbox, or from, of course, your servants, Delilah. In your case, as you don't really have a letterbox to have things posted through, that's for poor people. You have servants. But you each receive a very lovely paper with a front page spread about villainy in Lower London, the criminal element. It seems to be a very spirited argument in there, mainly speaking of who cares, at least they're killing each other. However, you do see that there is a big picture of a burned down shoe factory, seemingly in Lower London.
Does it give details as to which shoe factory?
It doesn't seem to care. Perhaps Lower London would title it, but in Upper London, a building down there, it's a building.
Well, that's just shoddy journalism.
But they'll report on things in the upper city, of course, but not so much in the lower city. So you do, however, as you have a look over it, recognize it slightly, at least from look. And could you give me a very quick streetwise, Tillie?
Yes, I can. It's +2. Boop. 11.
on an 11. So you have a think, and you don't quite remember the name of the place. It's not somewhere you've really been before, but you know the general area it was supposed to be in, and you do know that that was in the Americans' territory. It seems to have been perhaps some of Robbie's people striking back for what happened 2 nights ago.
Okay. Okay. Great.
And as we speak of things that happened the previous night, and as you're all enjoying your morning, for at least you, Delilah, we're going to jump back a few hours, in the early hours of the morning, at around roughly 4 a.m. At least you remember. As a storm began to kick up above you in Upper London, soaking the streets, lightning crashing, thunder everywhere, the noise ringing through the streets. You had a knock at your door, a rather enthusiastic knocking coming from it. It was loud, and most of your servants were away. They wouldn't knock in such a manner.
Are all the servants gone for the night?
Most, 2 or 3 stay, but given the hour, they are asleep at this point. But they are beginning to wake, no doubt, from the noise.
Yeah. Delilah just kind of looks at the mirror, make sure it's not coming from the mirror before.
It is not, luckily, coming from the mirror. It's coming from the front door.
Like, and it sounds like urgent knocking, right?
Very.
All right. Well, she was a commoner before. She'll open her own door. She doesn't have to wait for other people.
So you head down.
It's fine.
And you do see one of your servants has woken up. She's sort of rubbing her eyes and looks a bit confused as she walks to the main gallery as you walk in towards the front door. Oh, sorry, miss. I was going to go and deal with it. Probably just some drunkards, I imagine.
Don't worry about it. I can open the door myself. I do have working hands.
I never dreamed of having you do such a thing. I can do it. It's completely fine. And at that point, you hear an even louder knocking. And given you're closer, you also hear a voice you recognize from behind the door, as you hear an accent that you're not too familiar from hearing around these parts. As you hear, "Delilah, open up the door." A voice you recognize well. Mickey.
Oh, God. Fuck you, Mickey. Okay, alright, back in character. Okay. Well, now we know where we went last session.
Kill him last week.
Alright. Well, if that's the case, she just kind of freezes up for a moment and then looks at the girls like, go back to bed.
But
Please. I insist.
Yes. He sounds angry.
Should I repeat myself?
No, of course not, miss. She says, lowering her gaze from you and nodding once before leaving, though looking worried.
Yeah, she kind of gathers her shawl around her and quickly hurries to open the door to see what the hell's going on.
Okay. So you head towards the door. And with each step, you feel yourself having a feeling that you were not so used to with Mickey, not until you saw a few things with him back in the day. And as you walk towards the door, Delilah, how about you tell us about one of your memories? One that gave you that fear, that made you that tense.
A memory from when, probably just when she was 16, many, many years ago. We'll say, 9 years ago. And they first started out dating. They were, finally kind of edging off that honeymoon phase, and they were about to have their first row. But, of course, Mickey, throughout this entire time of knowing her, they never fought, at least he never raised his voice towards her. This time, he was getting very, very close. And as he was about to raise his voice, she remembered that he stopped, took a deep breath, smiled, excused himself, and went to the next room. In that room, she knew he had one of his less savory type of guests there. And the amount of violence, the explosive words and just the cacophony of noise. And then afterwards, with blood splattered on his coat and his suit and his hands, he returned with a perfect smile and spoke very calmly with her. And ever since then, she's known never to get on his bad side.
And as you take more steps towards the door, the crash of thunder, the patter of rain hitting again, that voice, calmer this time, calling from behind the door. Delilah, please, I know you're there, just let me in. You remember something else. Hearing him in that way, struggling, at least seeming in pain. You remember when he was younger. You remember when you first met him, when he was still working under his dad. Before you scared him. Tell us a memory that's good about Mickey.
Memory that was good about Mickey. A really good memory, other than of course him being superficially charming all the time, was when they first met, around the beginning, when he was the one who told her that her dad, owed money and that he died. He was supportive, kind, he listened to her cry, he listened to all her fears and offered her a job that had dignity rather than what happened to other less fortunate girls. She remembered that he was good to her. He's never been bad, just always, in the beginning, he was sweet. And he liked music, and he didn't really like violence, at least not at the beginning. I'm terrified now. God.
It's as you take those final steps and you remember that nicer man, the better man that you thought he was. And you hear that voice, that pain. And your heart's still hammering from that fear. It's a strange feeling. Two at once. A lot of them. And the fear behind you of the mirrors that surround your room, still covered. But your hand touches the metal, cold, cold metal of the door handle. Delilah, please, just let me in, for all time's sake.
Yeah, she'll have to unlock the door for that.
Okay. So you unlock the door, and you see Mickey. He's in quite the state. He's bloody from the looks of him. His suit is covered in dirt, soot, oil, blood. The smell of iron hits you almost immediately, even with the rain pattering around him, washing away a lot of it. You see blood leaking from what seems to be the side of his face, near his ear, and it seems to be pouring onto the ground, just in drops, but pooling, just in a small crack between two of the paved slabs of your steps. Lightning crashes and flashes behind him, and you see his silhouette lit, and he is drenched by the rain. His suit is torn. He has blood running visibly down his face, and he looks in pain. And he looks at you with dizzy eyes, vulnerable.
She's never really seen him hurt, so she just kind of takes a step back and kind of puts a hand to choke out a scream before she drops her hand and just kind of steps to the side to let him in.
And he does. He steps in and closes the door quite quickly behind himself after looking out for a moment.
No one followed you here, did they?
No one followed me. They were good at what they did, but they were slow. I'll give them that.
Okay, what?
But
I don't know. I don't. Why are you here?
He's still holding his ear at the same time, hand over it as he looked at you. I I didn't have anywhere else to go right now. Not that we're safe. There's a few of the other gangs, a few of the other hideaways, but I don't want to go there without knowing more about what's going on.
All right,
So
well,
he's safe, right? You'll rat me out, will you, Delilah?
I just go get changed. I can't have you dripping blood here. I'll fetch you a
Don't
towel.
really have many of my clothes here, Delilah. It's not like I packed a suitcase. I was running away.
I'll fetch you some of Ned's things. She quickly just like she kind of like gets him to like drape his other arm over her, just like slowly lead him away from the door to her room.
So you feel that the weight against your shoulder, a slightly familiar weight as you remember nights out back in the course of the new country and the new world when you were going around bars and you were saying, going to different gigs, you were doing different concerts, singing, and Mickey was there watching you, making sure you were safe. And you remember his arm around you always was a bit more stern, a bit more strong, to try and almost calm you, but there was that slight feeling of something else. But this time it's very much that.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's weak, he's leaning a bit more. There is that weight there, but he's struggling to keep himself up. But you begin to make your way. And where are you going to put Mickey?
She's gonna put him in like a guest room near her room. She doesn't want to bring him to actually her room. That place is more haunted than like any other room. So for like his sake, more than her own, she'll bring him to one of the guest rooms that she's already removed the mirror out of. Like, and she'll just gently, very like gingerly as possible, ease him down. It's like just stay here, just don't move. And
yeah, I ain't going anywhere.
And do you know any medicine? Do you know how to patch yourself up? I could fetch you something, but
I know how to deal with gunshot wounds, but I ain't ever lost an ear before.
She kind of just I can't call my family doctor. I don't. She kind of like immediately she's like just stay here. I'm gonna get you something. She just immediately runs off.
It's fine. I know someone that does some work for us on the side. Goes by the name Varukht. He's pretty cheap.
I was thinking the same thing. She kind of looks at me. Wait, you know him?
Well, he's a bit of a hacksaw, but he's good at what he does when he needs to do it for the right price. Don't really have many ethics about him.
She kind of freezes, like, and like, what the fuck? Varukht! Doctor, what the hell, man? Anyways, okay, so she just kind of freezes, does not say anything, and leaves the room quickly to gather her, like, takes shaky breath before gathering a towel, bring a towel, some change of clothes, getting some tea started.
He seems to kind of shout, "Got whiskey? Could do with some whiskey right now. A lot of it."
Yes, I imported some from back home.
Good.
Your favorite.
Yeah, this English
vintage of yours. Yeah, I'll get some. She kind of just rolls her eyes, and kind of hating the familiarity of this all as well. It's just like fuck, and, fetching him stuff and she brings a towel back. She, gets his a change of clothes, gives him some whiskey that she brought from home, and that's some tea.
He takes off the
and she just kind of
lugs down. You see him taking full mouthfuls of gulps before he and puts it back down on the side.
That shit was expensive, right?
Well, it's doing its job.
She nods and kind of just slinks until she kind of sits on the floor.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you. He does look, still quite pathetic in his own way. He's bloodied. He's getting more clean. Your servants are rushing about. And do you send a messenger off to Varukht?
I am, yes. I'm gonna tell my good old carriage driver, my good Mr. I can't remember his name all the time. Who do I name him? Larkin. There we go. Mr. Larkin. She's gonna send him off. She makes sure to tell him that to be discreet as much as possible.
Well, I will be very discreet. I will have to say, however, I do need to take it a bit slow. I've still got a bit of an hole in the...
I know.
I know.
My dear.
Right,
If you
brilliant.
wish, I could send Silas instead. He's
No,
over the
I
horse.
got it. I've got it. Silas is crap at riding horses. Got to tell you. Sorry, I didn't mean to use that language.
That's all
He's
right.
not quite very good. He's quite bad at riding horses, Miss Lady.
He
Delilah.
told me different last time. Well, whatever.
Of course he
Well, please just fetch the doctor and tell him that to make haste.
Yeah, we'll do. Is everything all right? Yes. You haven't
Absolutely.
hurt yourself? Was Little a name?
It's. Let's just fetch the doctor first.
Of course, miss. No
Please.
more questions asked. He says and gets going. You see him, he walks straight out, takes his coat,
Yeah.
throws it on, and walks out into the night. And
The question.
Yeah.
What did Mickey come in through the main door?
yes, front door.
If that is the case, she's like the minute after she sends Larkin off because he uses the servant's door. She's immediately going to grab a rag and just scrub the fucking blood off her stairs and her the front, just kneeling, scrubbing it off feverishly, just get some semblance of sense in her head.
And you're doing so, and Dr. Varukht. It's morning by the time that you're reached. It's quite the ride to find you, and even with Larkin's skills, he does have to take it a little slower, and it does take a while to pin exactly where you are. You're working late in your labs, as usual, and fell asleep whilst finishing your work. You hear a pounding at the front door, just as you hear a shouting coming from outside of news being delivered early in the morning, a town crier walking by. But you hear a very sort of eager knock on the door.
Herbert, get the door.
Yes, he says, and he goes and gets it, and he opens it, and you hear the murmuring of voices before he comes up. You have work? Yeah, Mr. Larkin.
All right, send him in to here.
He nods very astutely and then walks down again, his usual stern face still on show. And soon after, Larkin kind of stumbles in and gives you a sort of stupid grin that he usually gives you. And he kind of looks at you and goes, hey, it's good to see you, Doctor. It's been a bit, but I'm doing well, recovering quite good. Got to say, it looks a bit ugly, but I think I can swing it as sort of attractive in a sort of oh yeah, I've seen some shit sort of way. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Lady needs you. Lady Delilah seems to be an emergency. Says to come early as convenient. I'm here. I've got a car that's pretty convenient, I think.
All right, here is the bag. This one.
Oh, yeah, all right. Okay.
And then the doctor grabs his other bag, slings it, and then Larkin sees that there's the nearby table, and it's laid out, and the doctor pulls a double leather harness off, and he begins putting accoutrement, a gun, and a trench knife, and all the electric flashlight into this thing, and then a great coat over the whole set. And everything was pristine and laid out in just a certain order, and that bag was right there, and the other bag was right there. And it takes him almost no time at all to be walking out the door. He doesn't bother with a hat or umbrella or any of the things that a doctor normally would. This is more of like a combat reaction sort of thing.
Yeah. So you get your things together, snap reaction. You, for a moment, feel yourself having that same rush of adrenaline that you used to have back in the days, back when you worked in the reclamation. And can you tell me of a day, Doctor, that you encountered something similar to this, a situation where you were called suddenly from your sleep, from your rest, back in the days of the reclamation?
So a lot different than a normal war. You would listen for shells and such incoming. There is no shells or whatever coming in. It's always going out, as the animates would come in droves and waves and groups. And so, yeah, we see a pre-dawn, just a bare light over the horizon, and a young Englishman, grabs him and is, Doc, come on. And bleary eyes, and when the doctor sits up and we see his face, the sides of his head are shaved, and he's just got this one stripe of white hair across the top. And as he blinks around, we can see that he has lavender eyes, and he immediately, pulls his spectacles from the shelf and puts them on, and starts stumbling. And he gets to the framework of what is a trench, basically an entrenchment with barbed wire and splay stakes all pointing in one direction. And then he looks back, and you see the greatcoat hanging on a peg, and he snags it and throws it on, and then proceeds to run through the muck to the surgery, where there are screaming men with bites and lacerations and victims of that kind of battle.
Yeah. And those images flash in front of your eyes once more as you move, and for a moment you feel that same old combination of both a bit of fear and just curiosity. That tension that was there always, but now as you begin to move, you feel that familiar sense of duty, that familiar sense of almost elation at what the next job could be, and if it could further your goals. And you step out, and you begin to make your way towards Delilah Berkeley's estate, with all of your tools in tow. And it's as you're riding past Miss Tillie Griffiths' house that you hear the shout of the news, Tillie, about the previous evening. And you find yourself warm in bed. It's early, very early, but you hear a storm outside pattering the window with rain. You don't hear much traffic outside, but then you do suddenly hear heavy hoofbeats and a seemingly rushed cart being driven.
I'll take a peek out the window.
Could you give me a very quick touch check, please?
Sure. In touch. 3. 3. Oh. 3, 3, 3. 9.
You recognize it with ease. You look out, and even with your bleary eyes, as you sort of focus and wake, you notice that the driver on the front looks very familiar. It is definitely Larkin, the sort of very stringy, tall man who's still leaning slightly from his wound as he seems to be driving with quite some speed. And you do see through one of the little windows in the side that currently has the curtain drawn back a flash of white hair that's very, very much familiar. You don't see many people with that brilliant shade of white of hair. Not greyed, but pale like chalk.
Well, my first thought is, wow, he got that dye out really quickly. Second thought, she kind of thinks about it for a second and figures that if Delilah needs her, she will call. If she's needing a doctor, that's her private business. So we'll choose not to go.
Okay, no problem.
And instead, we'll try and put on a disguise, or put on some less fancy clothes and make her way down to Lower London.
Okay, so you'll be doing that. And Miss Fairchild, what have you been doing this morning?
Miss Fairchild has been practically lying down for the past 2 days because that threat was very stressful and aggravated her condition. She also hasn't left her safe house because that threat definitely made her go into panic mode. So she's pretty much shut herself off quite a bit and just attended to her son. So she's just recovering and trying to figure out what to do next without having to expose her secrets to quite a lot of people, because Havelock doesn't really leave the safe house ever. So
and as we
take him out in public as a mourner would be rather deep.
Certainly would be. And as you're spending this time with Havelock, tell us a bit about them. Tell us a fond memory with your child.
Havelock is 5 years old. and looks about as different from Miss Fairchild as it's possible to be. They both have incredibly pale skin, but he has riotous blonde curls and bright blue eyes, and is quite precocious and constantly trying to leave the safe house, despite it being locked up like Fort Knox. One of Miss Fairchild's fondest memories is of when he was only about 2.5 to 3 years old, and she was still rather getting the hang of the parental thing, and she opened the safe house and couldn't find him anywhere, and went into practically panic mode, searched the entire house and couldn't find him, and she had an attack and had to lie down. So she is lying insensate on the ground, terrified for this tiny life that she's taking hold of, and she feels something start to move by her feet. And it turned out that Havelock had found himself under one of the pieces of furniture and had fallen asleep, and was trying to drag one of the blankets from one of the bedrooms over to lay across her, just babbling as a toddler does, just and trying to drag quite a large blanket over her feet. And she was so relieved and so enchanted by this very odd show of kindness, which is not something she had at the same age. It's one of her fondest memories, because he's a very sweet child, which is not something she's seen in a lot of humans.
And it's as you have this fond thought about how kind they are that they very much still reflect the same. You know that they're a gentle boy. They're loving, they're nice, they care about things, they wouldn't hurt a fly. You remember, in fact, they did have a problem with that. There was a fly in their room and they refused to kill it because they didn't want to hurt it. And as this sweet young child of yours is going about their own business, and you feel that cold heart warm slightly, you do hear the town criers reporting many dead in lower London. Gang violence, a shoe factory burning down, and you hear the distant clunk of your letterbox being opened and something being dropped in one of the less secure parts of the house.
I will go find out what it is, approaching the door with all due caution and a weapon in hand.
So you bring an exculpus with you, drawing it and keeping it hidden, as is, of course, your training. And you approach the door. And as you walk silently over the floorboards that would usually creak under a less trained foot, you see on the floor a paper. It's pattered with a bit of rain, but aside from that, it's very much on the floor safely, and you see nothing else around.
I will pick up the paper and return to the breakfast table and peruse it,
Okay.
while making sure Havelock actually eats his food.
Okay. And you peruse the paper. A lot of it is, as you'd expect, it's talking about the festival that's to come on, a Halloween festival to be held in one of the grander gardens in the centre of Upper London, one of the only ones, in fact, that actually has real flowers, ones that grow healthy. It's contained in a small dome that they seem to try and keep with clean air and with as fertile soil as they can get. And there is one part that particularly jumps out to you as you do read that the event is going to be led by, let me just remind myself on the exact name here, a gentleman by the name of Phineas Mac III, who runs a carnival named the Starfall Fair. And there is, in fact, a photograph taken of what looks to be a very fancy-looking, spooky tent. And the gentleman Phineas stood in his very sort of flamboyant gear, the sort of coattails swirling around and curling slightly either side that you can see, and adjusting a bow tie, smiling very brightly.
Frivolous. Very frivolous.
And it's as you're reading that Havelock seems to have got to the table and is looking over. Oh, that looks fun. Can we go?
Havelock, we don't leave the house. You don't leave the house. You know what will happen if... I know it was fun, but it's too risky, especially now.
I thought you were strong. I thought you'd protect me.
I do protect you. I do everything in my power, and a lot more besides, to try and keep you safe.
But I want to go. I'm bored of inside. I'm always inside.
I know.
Please.
Sweetheart, I know. I'll think about it, okay? Now,
Thanks,
eat
Mum.
breakfast, please.
Mm-hmm. He nods and gets right to it, very, very much enthusiastically. You can tell he's trying his best to almost impress you with how good he's being. But you could see the wonder in his eyes as he saw the tent and the costume. That childlike wonder of dreams and things that to adults perhaps may seem frivolous being the biggest thing in the world. And there is a sparkle in those small, kind eyes as he begins to eat.
Breaking my fucking heart.
And it's with that broken heart that we'll cut to Magdalena. Magdalena, it's been 2 days, you think, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That steak was very insulting.
Do they not know who I am? If they did, they would not dare.
Ugh. You've been speaking about this for
I
2
am
days now.
very insulted. I've only been speaking it for the past day, the first day I spent brooding.
Yes, I remember.
Mm.
But it is just steak. No one used it. Perhaps your new plaything brought it with him.
No, he did not. He has no idea. He's all see muscle, no brain. Well,
Lots
slight
of blood could be a good snack, but no. Don't bring snacks home.
I will do better. I will try to bring more snacks home.
Yes, I am sure. And I will remember that when we get a third guest in the house stay? Fourth, perhaps? And maybe when you start your own performance, a band of sorts. Like a dance troupe of humans.
I do not dance. No.
Well, no, they would. You can train them. They are very
No,
easy to train.
They are very easy to train. They're
You
very
give
good.
them treats, they do treats.
You give them treats and they do something good, you reward them. You keep doing that, they do things by self. That reward. It's just very simple. I know, I read the book on human husbandry. I know.
Yes. It's a very good book. Very good.
Okay, good book.
Yes. Still, if you aren't to eat him, then perhaps this is fine. Maybe you placed it there and forget about it. You have done this before.
I have occasionally placed things not remember, but not health hazards.
Your sword that was left in bath facing upwards.
It's not nearly as bad as a steak.
Hairpin in wardrobe door, shaped like dagger.
I had to take care out. It was giving me headache. But no, it's fine. Just keep ears and eye out in case someone decides to play Van Helsing or something.
Oh, I've been keeping eyes and ears out. I went out for snack because you never bring food home. I came back and you were all, oh, such insult, leaving steak in room. Maybe if you were home more, we wouldn't have such problem.
I'm going out.
And are you bringing food? It's day out there.
We will see.
Okay, keep good, because if not, I am eating chicken boy. Getting very hungry.
We cannot eat Cooper.
Ugh, I forgot you named it.
I did not
Fine.
name it. He didn't name you. You asked me what name was. I tell you.
Eh. She kind of just waves a hand and walks away.
What was named Cooper?
Well, it's funny name, at least. I will give it that.
It's funny name.
Yes. You know, has another chicken now, actually. They seem to flock
Oh,
to
another
him.
chicken.
Mm.
Well, they do. They are chickens. They do flock. No.
I've never really seen flocks of chickens? I only know of
Oh, that's
2
right.
existing in these
deal with
days since plague.
herds. Yes.
Yes. I deal with sheep. Sheep better. Sheep loyal. They have wool. Industrious creatures. They earn their keep. Eggs.
Chickens make feathers, like feather pillows and beds.
No one wants to wear chicken feather costume.
No, but you put the chicken feathers in the pillow. That's how you get feather pillows.
And it's as you're speaking about this that Cooper is stood in the doorway, chicken in hand, just kind of like...
Ah, Cooper! You were just talking about chickens.
Yeah, I heard, yeah. Oh, they're going well, by the way. They've had some
How
eggs.
much did you
Pretty good.
hear?
Oh, well, a bit. A bit. Enough.
Like, can I give an insight check to see if you heard? Saying you can't
Yes, could you give me a
Cooper.
check, please?
This is what happens when you stick 2 vampires in a house. They're like, eat people, blah, 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 eat people. You never bring people home for you to eat.
Where is my takeaway?
I know. 16.
So he seems to have heard the lot.
Okay.
He's looking a bit like confused, a bit scared maybe. I'd really prefer you don't eat me, miss, if that's alright.
Oh, we would never eat. It is a Romanian expression.
Oh,
Like figure of speech.
oh. Right. What does it mean?
Like when you find something cute, you could just eat it up.
Could you give me a very quick persuasion check on that, please? Do a charm check.
Yes, I can. Oh boy, okay, let's see how this goes. I don't have a great charm. I'm not Lilith here, but it's not awful. Okay. I'm gonna reroll that.
Okay. It's probably a good idea. Okay, on a 17, he seems to believe in. He goes, "Oh, you have some interesting sayings. I remember that one."
Yes. You do good to remember it. You're just so cute. You take such good care of chickens.
Yeah, you seem to think a lot of people are cute.
Yes. Yeah.
And at that point, Irene looks at you and kind of raises a single eyebrow. You do.
I find beauty in many places. I am an artist. I think in her brooding, she's probably painted those flowers she got. Because you don't get flowers often nowadays, and so to have a live subject here, she probably painted.
Oh yeah, flowers are rare. So you've been painting those. She's like, yes, I know. Anyway, Cooper, I am going to go for a nap. So you go deal with chickens or whatever it is that you do, and I will not be bothered by you for hours. You remember? Yeah, I won't need anything, miss. Yes, good. Have a good day, Magdalena. I'll sleep
Have
now.
a good sleep, Irene.
Always like the dead. She drops a smile immediately and vanishes.
Yeah. Now, Cooper, do you need anything? I am going out.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Just the stuff from before that I mentioned. But other than that,
Chicken food?
chicken food. Yeah, I need chicken food. That'd be good.
Do you need
maybe some
anything
wood.
else?
I've got a few more chickens, and the coop's getting a bit
You need
cramped.
to make bigger coop. Yes. Some
yeah.
wood, chicken food.
Some nails.
You need some nails.
Hammer, maybe.
I think we have one laying around somewhere.
I saw one with like a weird wooden thing, like a spike.
Yes. Yes. You did not happen to leave Spike there, did you, Cooper?
No, I don't really have many wooden spikes, miss.
Okay, well, if you need to use the wooden spike in chicken coop, feel free. We are not using it. It is extra.
I could probably use
around.
it. Yeah.
Yes, you use that and that hammer.
Yeah.
And I will get you new things.
Oh, paper, by the way, he says, and he hands you a paper.
Paper. Oh yes, I will read all of this English.
He leaves.
Ugh, English.
I know. He's not even Turkish or. Ugh.
Cool. So could you give me a roll on your language as English, please, to try and decode
I
this?
can. It takes her a while. Okay. As I'm trying to roll, something's moving across my contact lens. It's fine. I read that paper so good.
You do. You recognize all the words such as English and American and ganger, and also things such as violence, which is one you do know quite well. And it seems to talk of burning, which you also know the words for. And you do decode that it seems to be talking about a conflict that happened the previous night, seemingly in one of the old shoe factories from before the reclamation burned down.
I thought I smelled something burning last night.
You do, and as you think that and sort of catch a glimpse just outside the curtains to your right that have a very bit of a slit open, you do see smoke filling the streets still.
Oh, I'll look out the curtains that are so rarely opened.
You just see roiling smoke in the distant streets, like it's not ventilating very well.
Sucks to be human. And I'll just kind of close the curtain again. It's going to make the respirators even harder.
Indeed it is. There is one other thing you see, however, in the paper as you sort of go to put it down, which is a figure that you recognize. Phineas, the strange proprietor of the carnival that was mentioned before, seemingly a very good show. And he stood in front of what looks to be a very grand-looking tent with many bats hanging off it. And you do see in the background somebody dressed similar to your father, but also not them. And they have their hands outstretched, and there's sort of bats on strings in front of them.
Is this a joke?
And it says Halloween Festival. And there is a sub-name that says Year of the Vampire.
Well, every year is Year of Vampire. But it is aside from points. I cannot believe they would make mockery of my father in this way. It's all because of that stupid book. Well, maybe Cooper wants to go to carnival. We can educate him on proper vampire ways.
So he can grow up into a very good, industrious, proper vampire boy.
He's a proper servant boy, you know, who learns
proper,
maybe if
proper
he's
minion.
very good and we can turn him into a vampire chicken boy.
Maybe. Maybe. We'd have to figure out what Lord Bock thinks of that. But speaking of Lord Bock and things that are going down at the minute, back over in the noble house of Delilah, you've been scrubbing the stones, and finally the blood has mostly come away. You can see it's still in those cracks that are very tight between the two paving slabs, and you can't seem to get that out, but the rest is off. You've scrubbed it away. You don't think anybody would notice this.
Yeah, so while she scrubbed the floor like, away from blood, her hand probably a bit ruined from like just the kind of paranoid kind of scrubbing she's been doing. But
they are
does she like
pink?
Yeah, she kind of like quickly like puts the stuff away. And when does she expect the doctor?
She expects the doctor within the next probably half an hour. You've got a little time to get yourself set before he arrives.
And when do the servants wake?
They're already awake at this point. They're going about their business. They've been looking at you a bit strangely, and you are delivered a paper.
Yeah, I'll kind of like take that and be like, thank you. Who's the one handing it to me?
It seems to be one of your younger, newer servants. The same one that woke up the previous night and saw the front door. By the name of Jane.
Okay, well, she'll look over at her. Right, Jane, I will be in the Seasons guest room.
Yes, of course,
The one
miss.
that I'd
Yes.
like to... Yeah, so part of that suite, I have decided to take the autumn suite. Once that doctor is here, lead him over there, then leave him by the door. Do not open it. Let
Very
him
well,
open
miss.
himself.
As you wish.
Good. Thank you, Jane. She gives her a little, she gives an appreciation of, sorry I snapped at you earlier.
It is your prerogative as a lady. Do not need to apologize. I'm a servant.
Servant or not, you're still a person. I shouldn't have snapped him. Still.
Well,
Again,
thank
I
you,
will
miss.
be in the autumn room. We'll talk later. She smiles
course.
and
I would like
she'll
that.
she kind of holds onto the paper and will kind of make haste back to the guest room.
So you make haste back to the guest room, and you do see Mickey is still there as he was. And it's about that point we'll jump again to Tillie. You've gotten yourself ready. You begin to get yourself in disguise. You think you're looking quite appropriately disguised. You think you'll pass, and it's at that time that you hear a very fevered knocking on your door, very loud, very quick. Desperate. Especially with this weather.
Okay, I'll creep down and I'll just take a little peek through the peephole. Who's there?
So you look out through the peephole, and as you do, you see a young-looking, seems to be dressed like a maid, a sort of uniform collar underneath what's a big coat that she's wearing at the minute. She's got red hair, curly, that seems to tumble down, though very drenched by the rain, and has a very wide-eyed look as she's knocking very, very quickly, and you see she looks very distressed.
I'll open the door, I'll pull her in real quick and I'll close the door. And I'll just pat her down real quick.
Right, okay.
Safety. Must understand. Did she have any weapons on her?
None at all, no. Nothing of the sort.
Excellent.
You find a key, that's it.
Oh,
Right, okay, right, and she says she's let in and looks...
It's been a very
still really...
strange few days, I hope you understand.
Right, yes, have you seen the detective? I'm here to see Tillie Griffiths if she's here.
Yes, I am the detective, my dear.
You don't match the description.
Oh, yes. Right. Yes. No, I am she.
Good. I've been trying to find somebody who I could get on short notice, but the rest of them, they don't seem to be working right now, or at least they don't seem to take me seriously with what I'm saying. I was hoping you would. I've heard you take any job, no matter how insignificant, and this one isn't. This one's important, miss.
Right. How about we get you a cup of tea? You stop dripping on my floors, and you tell me what's wrong.
She nods.
Excellent.
Very honest.
Come.
So you take her up, you get her tea, she dries off a bit with a towel and sort of sits, still a bit damp of clothes, but is sat neatly enough and waits for the tea and sips it very thankfully, as she seems to have very dry lips, as if she's not been drinking properly, as she takes the sip and set aside.
Breathe and tell me calmly what's going on. I'll remember this forever, so I don't really want it to be a stressful affair.
Right, yeah, not stressful. I don't think there's a way for this to go down that isn't stressful, miss.
What's happened? First of all, who are you?
Chelsea Barrows.
Chelsea Barrows.
I'm a maid for the, well, it'll come important in a second. She says she takes another sip as well. I'm a maid for the Marriott Lord family, Lord Marriott. Only remembering heir of it. Smaller family, quite wealthy.
Do I know who Lord Marriott is?
Could you give me a very quick... just give me an intellect check then, please.
Sure.
Or an etiquette would be even better.
Oh, give me just a second. I have etiquette. They are both the same, but I'll have etiquette.
Good.
+3. I'm going to take a reroll on that.
Okay, no problem. Use one of second chances, so fate changes itself as you get...
As I do remember who that is.
Yeah, you remember who it is very well. In fact, you've had... you remember quite a few details about this family, in fact, with your photographic memory and having read articles and seen a few things with that role as you suddenly remember things. Colours, scents, images. And you remember the Marriott family. They were a quite wealthy family before the Reclamation. Afterwards, they lost most of their fortune, though built it up again through many very well-placed business investments. They invested in much of the production of gas masks, of respirators, and making both high-value and low-value ones. And it was them who first coined the respirator filter business. They made quite a killing off of that. and have made other decisions since, such as investing in events and the like, and have recovered their money exponentially. That is until a more recent event. Around 4 years ago, there was a very structured set of attacks on the city, mainly on nobles. You remember there was some people crying revolution. Some Americans had crossed over and had begun to set up explosives in certain areas. A few of the noble families had been hurt by these, and it's said that both the different sections of this group that called themselves simply the anarchists very much caused havoc in the city. They killed multiple nobles. One family that was particularly devastated supposedly by this was the Delilah family, and the other that was very devastated by this was the family in question. The only remaining survivor is their son, who was away at the time at a boarding school. Their son's name is Bartholomew, Lord Bartholomew Marriott, who at this day, you know, with your 22, is 14 years of age.
Okay.
He was only 10 when he lost his family.
Okay, yes. Excellent. Yes, I'm quite familiar with the story. Most tragic. What's happened?
Oh, well, we were meant to be attending a few places. The Lord wanted me to take him away for a few days. He also was looking at looking into the festival, and also wanted to go and do some shopping. Of course, he can't say no to that, so I went with him. Usually it's fine, but we went to the Central Gardens, the Dome, where it's all being held. And at first, everything was fine. I sat down, let him have his space. He doesn't like people to be around him, coddling him too much. He's a very independent young man, and it's the High District of London. But he went out of my sight for only a short time, and he's been missing for about 2 days. And this isn't like him. He doesn't just run away. He's got nowhere to run away to. He has a house, money, project there. He's very focused on making sure that his family line continues and that he is a proper noble.
And the police
So I don't know what happened.
not done anything at all.
The police don't believe me. I'm a servant. They say that it's probably me making sure he went missing. They said that I could have a stake, given that I do have a stake in the estate of sorts. Not to implicate myself, but if he was to go missing, I would earn a bit of it, quite a bit of money, enough to see me for a comfortable life for the rest of my days, but I don't wish to have that like this.
I'll try and read her to see if she's genuine about that, or whether she's just laying it on thick. I don't think she is. But always best to check these things.
Okay, give me a wit check, please.
Yes, I can. Cool. 13. I don't know what I'm... 1 second, let me just check.
That's enough to tell. She's teary-eyed speaking about it. She is wringing her hands quite a bit and seems very stressed and anxious, but it doesn't seem to be in a deceptive way. She seems quite earnest. She seems quite straightforward and honest. Doesn't look like type to hide things at all. Perhaps they're very good at acting, but you don't believe that to be the case in this.
Well, my dear, you are either a marvellous actor, or you are to be believed, and I would like to believe you. There's been an awful lot of inequality in this city as of late, and it's quite unpleasant. So I'd like to take you seriously on this one. Right, he's been missing. Okay, he was last in the gardens.
Yes, it was. Last seen by the gardens. From what I remember, he was wanting to head towards the Star Carnival's tent, but he didn't reach there, as far as I'm aware. The gardens, as you know, well, if you've been, I don't know if you've ever had an invitation, but they're very...
I have met Mr. Phineas. I'm sure that I can perhaps contact him and see if he's seen him.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, of course, but there's a lot going on there, and I just worry that with the festival being on, well, within a day, that anything will be lost that was there to maybe track him down. He needs to be found. It's important.
items
sweet
get
kid.
lost. However, most people have memories. I'm sure someone would have seen him somewhere. And they can tell us about that. Right?
Right. She nods and takes another sip of her tea. Thank you, Miss Tillie. How much will I owe you for this?
I believe I shall discuss that with your
My lord.
lord.
Of course, yeah, not a problem. When you find him, I'm sure he'll be very happy to pay you whatever you need. And if not, I'll pay you out of my own wages.
No. I think I would more need a favour, actually. You might be perfect for the job.
Depends on what that favour is, miss.
I have a very dear acquaintance to me in a hospital somewhere. However, I've not been able to visit them in a while, and I would like to check on their progress. I was wondering if you would pay a visit to such an establishment, report to me on their progress, and see how they're doing.
Of course. Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, I'll do that.
If that's okay. And then I
That's
will
more
do
than okay.
my utmost. It's Claybury Asylum.
Oh. Right. Not what I expected, but okay. And who is it?
You will find a Miss Yvonne.
Yvonne?
Yes.
Last name?
No last name.
Right.
I know her
alright.
as Yvonne.
Yvonne. Alright, I'll check on them for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, I won't take up any more of your time. If you need anything else, let me know.
A description. This young lord has kept to himself, and he's been in boarding school, has he not?
Yes.
What does he look like now?
Short dark hair, brown, green eyes, quite pale skin. He doesn't get into the sun much, usually. But aside from that, carries himself very well. Tall for his age. And, well...
Age. Anything in particular he was wearing? What was he wearing before he went missing?
Oh, he was wearing a very fancy new suit we got, actually. It had a burgundy sort of main colour to it, and the trim was a beautiful sort of dark, a blackish colour with some lace on the front. And it had a medal on the front of it as well, a golden one. It marked him out with his family. And also, he does have one thing, actually. His eyes, they're different colours.
Ah, yes. Right. Heterochromia. Excellent. That's quite distinctive. He should be, well, quite striking. Hopefully somebody would have seen him, remembered, and I can follow that trail.
I hope so. Well, I'll leave you to that then if you've got a way in and the rest. But I'll await your message. I'll be at the manor when I'm not, of course, looking myself.
Of course.
Have a good day, Miss Tillie.
And yourself. And please, the rain is dreadful. Did you not have a parasol?
I didn't think to bring it. I was in a rush.
I just hand him one of my spares.
She takes it and looks grateful.
Go on.
Thank you, Miss Griffiths.
You're very welcome.
And she turns and begins to leave.
Dearie me.
And you soon hear the door go.
Quick visit to Lower London, then straight to the carnival.
Okay, and you get yourself ready. You readjust your costume to make sure the disguise is correct, and you get setting off. And meanwhile, Dr. Farouk, you arrive at Delilah's manor. Delilah, you've got set up in the room. You've seen Mickey for a short time before you hear a knock, and then the door opening as Dr. Farouk. You're stood outside of a very fancy room, and the door is opened for you by Larkin, who doesn't look in. He just opens and steps to the side. And inside, you see quite the scene. You see Delilah, and you see Mickey.
Do you mind if I interject real quick,
Sure.
Sam?
Certainly, go ahead.
As he kind of opens the door, you actually kind of see Delilah take a very quick step away from Mickey. Her eyes look kind of guilty because it seemed like for a brief second maybe they were hugging.
Okay.
It was like she just kind of takes a quick step back. Doctor, it is good to see you.
Yes, what am I called at this hour for? As he strides across the room.
She kind of like it's a very dark room. She's like kept the blinds down, like having like one candle or two. She kind of looks over at Mickey, then back at him. I'm told he is a regular of yours, Doctor. There's like a hidden question behind that, and she looks at you like,
And Mickey looks at you, Doctor, and you do see he's kind of got a hand over his ear still, and there is a bit of blood that's still leaking, even though he's got like a cloth against it. And he kind of is, oh, Doctor, we don't usually deal with each other in person so much, but I've talked to you a few times. Through my associates, we've supplied you with a few things. You've helped a few of our guys out. You met me yesterday, a couple days ago.
We met once. And
you're very memorable. I remember your face, Doctor, and your hair, of course. It's very striking.
And he pulls something from under his coat, and he, quickly winds it, and then he hands it to Delilah, and he's like, "Hold this so I can see." And
that's interesting.
And he turns his head and. This may have clotted on. It might hurt a bit. And then he just pulls off the cloth in one fell pull.
Mother of God. That hurt.
What are we seeing? And what is before the dock?
Okay, so before the dock is quite the wound in the side of the head. The ear has mostly been blown clean off. It seems there's been an impact to the skull to the side, though it hasn't caused any severe damage to him internally. And you also do see he's got quite a few scratches, minor cuts, bruises, and there seems to be a burn on his arm slightly.
And can I tell what removed the ear?
Oh, a gunshot. You've seen gunshot wounds before.
All right. Okay. All right. Let us get you laid down.
Looks really similar to Magdalena's wound a couple days ago.
Technically, he has a concussion. I guess he just lost an ear with it. It's fine.
And so I get him to lay down, and I proceed to work.
So you get to work. Can you give me a medicine check, please? And how good are you working with this? What are you trying to do with this medicine check? Are you trying to deal with the ear? Are you trying to sort of save it a bit?
Because we don't have the ear itself, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Because strangely enough, one game I played this week, my character had an ear in their pocket. I can't remember what game it was though. But he'll of course try to make it look good, just because he is the peerless surgeon, and he's also got the field surgeon trait too. So basically, even with just this, just with this bag, he is probably the best surgeon on the planet.
So with that in mind, can you give me a quick medicine check then, please? And of course, add your bonus for your gear.
All right. Too many. That's too many. Sorry. I do that.
Plus 17.
Yes.
It's really good tools.
Let's try that again. There it is.
Okay, let's see what you get.
A little better.
Here we go, 14. That's still good. And with your working conditions, you do manage to work with that. It's painful whilst you're doing it. You don't manage to work as elegantly as you'd like, but your actual work is fine. You manage to deal with the wound. You disinfect the rest of his wounds as well. You make sure that he's safe. He seems a little injured, but he will probably need rest. The ear itself, however, is mostly blown off and is quite the ugly scar. It has sort of marred part of the side of his face as well. And he looks quite fierce due to it. There's quite a bit of scarring there. But you do manage to stem the bleeding. You manage to close off the wound the best you can. You could possibly do something about the ear, but you don't have an ear on you.
I have nothing to work with to give you a prosthetic or anything. So until a later time, you will have to look rugged. You'll have to look rugged.
Oh, when you put it that way, Doc, it don't sound too bad. Thank you. He says and kind of gives you a bit of a look of actual thanks. Don't worry, I'll get even anyway.
More business, maybe. And
Definitely
then
more business, Doc.
he'll turn to Delilah and Lady Berkeley, if you would apply this salve, and he hands you a little like Carmex size porcelain thing full of some kind of salve, and this will help keep the wound clean, and it will also help with the burns. I will come back in a day or so and check on him.
Oh. She kind of says that she realizes that he's going to be staying for the next 2 days.
And the doctor just assumed assumed outright.
Thanks, Doc. Yeah, about all that went on. I don't think I can give you your man, I'm sorry to say. I think they took him. Ship went down, but we managed to deal with it. But unfortunately, he got out. Maybe he's back home. You could probably talk to him there. Honestly, not really my interest right now.
Okay.
I have other things to focus on.
Then I can count on you not reclaiming this man for the time being?
The amount he owed, I don't give a shit about him anymore. Call it debt repaid from what you've just done. You did me a job, so favor for a favor, right?
Just
debt's gone.
Good. Very good, very good. I appreciate it. And inwardly, he's like, yes, thank goodness. You know, we got the author, we could move along, because I've got work to do, and this mystery thing has got to be done with. So he's really actually quite excited about this, but he tries to, you know, be very German about it. So, Lady Berkeley, so if you are no longer in need of me?
Yeah, I think we're good, Doc. Thanks, though.
We're good? She kind of looks over, kind of confused.
Not exactly good, but you know what I mean, as in we're good right now.
He needs
Very
to...
well.
Like, we'll be fine.
He needs to
We'll be fine.
for several days. I will be back, not tomorrow, but the day after.
Alright.
Very well.
Say, Doc, if I have a few bits of work for you at some point soon, would you be interested?
Oh, I am always interested, and I am always working, so... A day or night, you call. And,
we can talk business soon.
And he steps close to Delilah and says, you may give him some of this for the pain. Do you know how to give an injection?
She kind of looks over at it. You put it on someone and just stab them with it, right? Like with the pointy end, and then you push the other side there.
No, okay, no. So it was me. Here, give him these, and he pulls out pills instead. This is not as effective, but these will work. You may either swallow them whole or crush them, and you know, up the nose. One or the other. They do the same.
You're not going to tell the guards here, will you, Doctor?
No, why should I do that? That is ridiculous. What someone does on their own time is up to them.
All right. Do you mind if we speak in the other room, real quick?
Oh, of course. Let's just go.
Yeah, she'll give like a Mickey like I'll be back soon kind of look, and then
Yeah, he kind of nods at you, seem expectant, and just kind of continues to drink the whiskey.
Yeah, she'll kind of close the door behind them, and she'll like lead him to like the parlor of her room, so not indecent but still private. and yeah, she kind of looks at him and says, please don't tell the rest of them that I have him here. Our colleagues.
Oh, you mean the little collective that we have brought together for the Curios?
Yes. I do feel a great shame about keeping him here. It's not something I wish to be let known. We are not friends, me and Mickey. large part of me did not want to help him.
Oh.
But
Well, I mean, and he looks around and to see if there's any servants or anyone here.
So I imagine you've walked a couple of rooms away, sort of into more of a
Very
parlor
much, yeah.
where you're alone and away from servants.
Close the door, all that. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so you are alone.
So, then, if you would like, you give him 4 of those pills instead of 2. I come back in an hour. I give him an injection, and then I haul away the body.
Yeah, at this particular where you're like,
just straight,
you're like
straight to
even
face.
more horrified. It's like, I've said this before. I prefer to have Miss Griffiths find a way to put him behind bars, not kill him. He's done a lot of bad things, Doctor. He's threatened me. He's threatened my child. But I can't.
Okay, I am just offering solutions that take care of things, and I hope and wish for the best. And if you hear from your husband, please let me know. We do have for the business. Oh, you have?
I suppose that's one of the secrets that he keeps from me. Oh, Ned, why would you keep doing this? She kind of looks over at the, covered mirror.
And then the doctor gets this look like he's, again, studying the psychoses here, using his psychology sort of thing, and so then, there's a small matter of your husband is one of my patrons, and his patronage has stopped coming. Do you have the ability to write checks, as it were?
Does she have the ability to write checks?
Well, your husband, as usual, he very much loves Delilah. He is madly in love with her and trusts her with everything to do with his business. Aside from, of course, the bits that he says are kind of his own private projects.
Yeah, and she respects
But he leaves you
usually.
to your own private projects and your own things you want to do, and in return for that, he does his own. It's sort of a very working relationship.
It's a healthy one, unlike
it
this
is, it's very
thing with Mickey.
Yeah, it's not Mickey. It's not Mickey. But, however, he did give you access to his funds. He has multiple different types, but you have access to your shared funds, so to speak, which is the majority of them.
Yeah.
In other words, you can write checks, whenever you want.
I can. You'll have to perhaps show me a copy of a previous check so I can at least,
Do you have the factor, or should I bring this business directly to you?
I usually leave my husband's work to his own privacy. It's part of our relationship. He does his thing, I do mine. But I'll just take some money out of our shared funds for now, at least until he returns. Then he can reimburse our family account.
That would be most wonderful, thank you. And he gives you a really, clicks his heels together and gives you a really deep bow.
I'm assuming you're part of one of his projects?
I do research for your husband, indeed.
Yes.
So
That explains why I thought you two would be good friends. You are.
we have a business relationship. He is an incredible, intelligent man. I appreciate his input, and he seems to appreciate my insight. And he big smile. And then he thinks about going into their business or talking science, and then he thinks better of it, and because it reminds him, hey, I have stuff to do at home. And
it's as you remember that you do hear a distant clunking noise, like a clank of something metal against something else.
Oh shit. She'll quickly open the door to see what's happening.
As you open the door and look out, you do see there are a couple of cups that seem to be clinking each other in the air.
Doctor?
Yes?
I'm afraid we're going to have to cut this meeting short. I have music practice to get to. Do you mind your head, and please keep your eyes on the floor? She kind of like says very tensely.
Okay, I shall. And he again bows one more time, takes one step back before he turns on a heel, and he proceeds to walk forward with his eyes on the floor.
So as you walk, Doctor, and you exit the room, cross back through the autumn suite and back out, you do see the door to Mickey's is kind of partly open. Do you look in?
Yeah, he can't help himself. Yes.
Okay. You see, he's kind of lounging back. He's still got the bottle of whiskey in his hand, and he's sort of sat on a plush chair. And you see across from him a small figure, which you very much remember as Delilah's son, Teddy, who is currently sat across from him, and he seems to be kind of listening quite politely whilst Mickey seemed to tell him the story of something. It seems very garbled and very mangled, but he seems to be telling him a story, like a kid's story from back home in America.
Okay.
With a bit slurred speech, as he does.
I give a light rap on the door.
1 minute, Teddy. I'll tell you about the eagle in a minute. What is it? Food?
I'll open the door, and then I see them, and I'll step in and close the door behind us, or behind me, and turn.
Doctor, yeah, you might have some stories.
Indeed, I do. But
Germany, is it? I'd love to hear your kids' stories. Ours are a bit newer, so they're a bit different.
So, young lord, hello. It is nice to see you once more.
Doctor, he says and smiles and nods. Good afternoon,
And
morning.
Is this gentleman someone you are familiar with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your mother would not be upset if you were in here and keeping this man from resting?
I don't know why she'd be upset.
Okay.
It's just Uncle Mickey.
Oh.
So he's fine, right?
It's Uncle Mickey. That's very good. Okay. Well, when I ruffle his head, and then they seem familiar enough, and I turn and take like 3 strides, and then turn back, and I'll say, "What is Mickey? Do I only know Mickey as Mickey? I don't know him as Mr. something or
He's
anything."
Mickey, as far as you're aware. You haven't heard his last name.
So, Mr. Mickey, if you are going to give the child any of that elixir you're holding, no, this is mine. This is mine. It ain't good for him to drink. No, this is fine.
I was at least 8. How old are you, Teddy? He goes to say, and then Mickey's like, it doesn't matter. The point is, I'm not going to. That's Delilah's thing to do.
Okay. That's very
but anyway,
good.
let me tell you some stories about cowboys.
He excuses himself and leaves.
Okay. So you leave, and Mickey continues his story in the background as you make your way out. Meanwhile, Delilah, you've heard the clinking and you know what it means, and you begin your practice. And across the city, Magdalena, what are you doing for your day? You've heard about this festival. Cooper seems content. You know about the burnt place, the shoe place?
Yeah, I think Magdalena, after having brooded and having spent a day brooding and painting and ranting to Irene.
And Ricky hasn't been back.
Ah, okay. Well, he didn't die in the thing. I made sure of that. So, I think she's gonna go out for a walk.
Didn't.
Yeah, the first one.
But he wasn't on the job yesterday. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. So, she's going to go out and do some errands, get some more chicken food and wood and like construction stuff delivered to the house for a project. And then maybe she probably asks the whatever store clerk, what do little boys like? Do they like toys?
Yes, miss. One of them says they do.
Yes.
We've got a couple in. Got a train set, quite extravagant. We also have some costuming. We've got a lot of vampires. We've got a couple witch costumes, you know, because
Yes, let us get a little vampire costume.
All right, then I can certainly do that for you, he says, and he gets out a
Indeed.
Dracula costume for you and holds it over. This should
Does
be...
it say Dracula on it? Like on the
It does.
costume tag?
It says Dark Lord Dracula, vampire. And has a dramatic picture sort of drawn on it.
It'll do. She does not. She's like, I'm undercover. I am undercover. I'm not going to point out the gross inaccuracies of this costume. But she'll have it sent to the house as well. With a little note for
Okay.
Cooper. And then
Well, certainly.
thank you. Yes, what this currency here again? Pounds?
Yes, miss. Yes, pounds.
Here,
Yes.
here is the money.
Oh, great, thank you, he says, and just takes whatever you've handed to him and then just nods.
Okay.
Could you give me a roll of a d5, please?
Okay, sure. Okay. Oh, fantasy grounds. Die. Oh, that wasn't it. I'm gonna remember how to do this. It's exclamation point. Nope, that's not it. Alright. Just gonna get into... You said a D5. Alright. I'm just gonna roll it elsewhere because I can't remember the custom fantasy ground thing. I got a 5. You're muted.
Goddamn. Okay, so you give him over £5. He takes
Okay.
it.
I have plenty of money. So I'm not worried about it.
Okay, no problem. And you give him the £5 and get on your day. Is there
There.
anywhere else you want to travel to today at all or look at?
I think, where is the carnival at?
The carnival is in Upper London. It is
Okay.
in a very central location. You'd need to have an invitation to go there, but given your status, you could possibly wrangle one. But it's in a very central pavilion garden that has a large
Okay.
dome over it. You've been there once.
I think she just kind of walked by the area on her way to Archie's house. Archibald's
Okay, yeah,
house.
sure. So
She
you
hasn't
go
told him about the death threat yet, and Irene's tired of hearing about it. So.
Yeah, no, so you make your way up, and as you are, you're past the factory, and you go towards the lift. It's as you do
That
that you
is what
catch,
burned down.
and it's as you do that you catch a very familiar scent as Tillie is passing you. Doesn't look like Tillie, but it smells like her.
Haha. This guy is tricky, I know this.
And you hear that, Tillie, as you walk past Magdalena.
Like, she stops and says that, turns around and comes and goes, hello. You're
You guys-
muted. You're
Your
very
accent's so
quiet
good
today.
You can't speak.
Tillie will go up, she'll do polite courtesy. Bonjour, madame. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oh, yes, you are French. Hello. Why?
She just rolls her eyes at you. Why are you Romanian?
I am going to see my lover.
Very nice.
It is, yes, it is why I'm going to Upper City. Did you know shoe factory burned down? Norton's, I think. What a smoke.
And as you say that, it is directly behind Magdalena as you're talking to her is Norton's sign that just collides with the ground as more of the building caves in.
Oui.
Yes, interesting. I guess, have you learned anything else about mask thing or dagger? You're a detective. Now you detective things? You investigate?
She just gently just pitches.
You're fancy French detective.
I just lean in. If you see me in disguise, do not talk to me like I am detective.
Okay,
First
you're
rule of
fancy
detective.
French lady.
There we go.
Alright, fancy French lady, you learn anything?
No, that's why I'm down here.
Ah, why?
You need to check on Robbie.
He I don't know. You going to bar? To railway bar? I do not know how whole event went down. I was elsewhere. At my house.
This is American territory, so we should probably leave.
Okay, well, you have good day, fancy French lady. What is your fancy French lady name?
I am Mademoiselle Ponsois.
Mademoiselle François.
Ponsois.
Okay. Sure. You have great day, fancy French lady.
Andy?
I will.
And, she'll just go.
Okay.
Actually, fancy French lady,
Oui.
did you receive, I don't know, threat in past couple days? Perchance.
Oui.
Ah, good. Not just me. They are stupid and not just crazy. Okay, it's good to know.
We discussed it.
Only stupid people send me threats. So, have good day, fancy French lady.
Merci.
Okay, and you depart from Fancy French Lady and upwards
I
to
do.
Upper London. You begin to make your way towards Archie's. And Miss Fairchild, what are you doing today?
She's planning to spend the day as she spent the last 2 days, just holed up in her safe house, checking locks, and generally freaking out because this was supposed to be the safe place. If someone has got into it, it's no longer safe. But she can't take Havelock back to her apartment because people will talk. So she's just quietly panicking. And now Havelock wants to go to a carnival. So she's kind of distracting herself from the stress of threats by just reading about the carnival and trying to kind of blue sky how she'd take him out in public.
So, the carnival seems to boast a lot of good events, it seems. There is a parade, there is a costume contest, there is an entire section that seems to be a big performance of, it says, a spooktacular performance of epic proportions by the Star Circus. And there are like pictures that people have taken of these performers posing. There seems to be what looks to be lion tamers, there looks to be acrobats, there looks to be dancers, there looks to be what look like clowns. There's a lot of different things there that seem to show all of these different types of things, and each of them are dressed in a spooky Halloween getup. It also says there is a haunted house that they're putting on as a performance.
Is this something that's happening like now, and it's going to be like the next few days, like events, or is it happening soon?
The fair itself is currently on. The circus part of it isn't operating until night, and it's operating mainly on the festival. The parade in particular is happening tomorrow night. It is currently the 30th of October. Tomorrow night is 31st. They're having a Halloween celebration, it seems. And there is also reminders, of course, of ensuring that you place the candle on your doorstep at night to make sure that you keep away bad spirits.
She doesn't quite roll her eyes when she reads it, but she, there's a... despite everything she's seen with her eye, she still kind of thinks it's rather silly to think about what happens after you're dead. Is she dead?
A real-life haunted house?
To make she dead. Yes, dear.
That's really cool.
Too real.
But I mean...
You really want to know?
More than anything. Please? Pretty please?
Past your bedtime.
Well, can read more the next day? Make up for it?
I said I'd think about it, and I am. You'd have to listen to everything I say, do exactly what I tell you.
Yep, everything.
Absolutely everything.
Absolutely everything.
You see something shiny, there's no running off. You have to stay with me.
Okay. I can promise that.
I know it hasn't been easy staying here. You've been very good. So I'm gonna try, but I'm making no promises. Look, sweetheart, you know I can't make any promises.
I know,
don't
Mum.
keep you in here because I want to.
Mm-hmm. He says,
But-
though, the kid doesn't seem too sold on that.
No. 5-year-old, hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try, alright? That's all I can say.
Okay. He seems smiling,
Haunted
very
house,
excited.
really.
Haunted house? Well, I mean, you deal with ghosts every day, right? So you could protect me if it comes to it.
No. I can protect you from pretty much anything, Havelock, I promise you that.
I know.
I don't think there'll be real ghosts. I think that'd be a little dangerous. And there's that kind of air of, I don't believe a word I'm saying, but just trying to explain to a 5-year-old that ghosts aren't real. That when you've seen stuff, it's not going to work. So it's
Yeah,
like,
so...
no.
Alright, well, okay. He says and seems to behave. But what else do you do, aside from relaxing that day and sort of whiling away the time? That threat still kind of looms.
Would actually, like, ask Havelock to stay in one of the central rooms, far away from the windows, and would lock up, and would head out to Mr. Clyde Fleming's, because she's still got a key, and now she's got impetus!
Okay.
She's gonna go rifle through his thing, politely.
Alright, so you begin to head off towards Mr. Fleming's, and it's as you cross the area near the warehouse that scent of smoke hits you. You see it before you catch it, even through your mask. You just catch that strange air, and you look over and you see there's a lot of people about the area who are milling about, mostly looking sort of bedraggled or dirtied. Some of them looking on in horror, others kind of looking a bit chuffed about it. And you also notice a very fancy-looking lady walking through the crowd who looks very out of place. And you see Magdalena kind of talking to them before they turn and walk away towards the lifts.
Would I be able to tell that this is Tillie? I don't think I've actually, because I've seen her take off a disguise when she was, what were you, Russian? You're Russian. I've seen her take off a disguise, so I know she does. Would I be able to figure out that this is Tillie?
You can give me a very quick wit check.
Okay.
And Tillie, can you give me a very quick disguise check? So if you've got acting, you can use acting. You are muted, however.
Sorry, I was just saying, I really need to get these. I thought I took them, but they're not on my sheet at the moment, so...
Okay.
Do I need to make it like a wit check or something instead?
Just a blank check if you... it's
that's
basically
fine.
Miss Fairchild who needs to beat your disguise check. So.
That's fine, it probably won't be the best. Oh, it's not bad.
Passable, especially down here. But you see through it, Miss Fairchild, quite easily.
I just kind of move around and kind of fall into step. I don't have my canes because I left them down here, so it's a slow step. And just kind of quietly, you still look rather too fancy for this part of town, Miss.
Seems I did not have the appropriate wardrobe, miss. And I hand her a parasol so she can lean on it.
She will take it gratefully and kind of, her step gets a bit easier.
Would you mind accompanying me to see the railway bar?
I was on my way elsewhere to visit a friend, great author. Writes wonderful stories, I'm sure.
Well, I've heard that certain authors are tied up right now.
Well, if he's not at home, I'm sure I can find what I'm looking for.
Well, do not let me impede your business.
And your business?
Getting my gun back.
vital, I would say, especially down here.
Mhm. Quite
And I kind of
expensive and
look-
has familial connections.
I wouldn't know, but I understand that can have quite a powerful hold on someone.
She
And I
just
kind of
gestures
look
to
past
herself.
her at the massive, like, burnt building, kind of like, connection, or simply part of life down here.
American territory? I think it was a hit.
One can only hope they hit hard and well.
And it's as you say that,
American
somebody you recognise, Miss Fairchild, as one of your many crows, one of the ones from Robbie's lads, does come over to you and goes, "Ah, Miss Fairchild, how goes the day? Is everything good? Everything going well?"
Everything goes as it does, on and on.
Goes.
I see you've had
goes.
some interesting times.
Oh, we have, yeah. I mean, a couple of us got into hiding, and the rest, you know how it is. Got to keep our heads low after what happened, and see what we could do about our boy. But it seems it's been handled. Weird, though. Widows and people grieving apparently did it. But I ain't gonna complain.
Hearts have strong holds.
Yeah, I mean, between you and me, boss is back. He's got a bit of resting to do, but we at the Americans hard. He's back with us. He's pretty spirited. Once he's rested up for a couple of days and had a pint, I'm sure he'll be all right to get going more. Got a lot of
I'm
territory
glad
to get
to
back.
hear it.
At this point,
Do
Tillie
pass
kind
on my
of
regards.
steps forward. Very sorry.
Oh, of course, milady. How's it going? Sorry, there's a lot of rain down here. It slips off the top city that's very high.
Right, yes.
What
Is
can
it
I do
possible
for
to see
you?
your boss?
Oh, sorry, we don't
He
have
is
any
a
bus
friend.
services down here.
Not your boss.
He kind of looks at you side-eyed, Miss Fairchild, and goes, "Really? Posh French
Yes,
one over here?"
I know.
I have worked for you before. You have seen me before, sir. Really? Yes, really. Get a hold of yourself, man. I need to see your boss. He's got my gun. I just put my hands on my hips.
Very confused, Miss Fairchild. What's going on?
And I just lean in and say, "It's Miss Griffiths, you know."
Oh,
the
the
whole-
cat detective.
Cat
Oh,
Cat
fuck,
detective.
sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. You're the best detective around.
Thank you.
I've heard the
I
case and
was-
some chocolates.
Quiet, son. Quiet.
I need to see your boss. He has my gun, and I'd like to get an update on what the hell's going on.
Yeah?
I'm in
Yeah, all
disguise
right, yeah,
down
sure.
here. I really do need to purchase a worse dress.
We can get you a worse dress. Don't
Please
worry
get
about
me a
that.
worse dress. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you
He
escort
says it
me
kind of
to
smells a
your
bit.
place of residence also. Just pretend I'm some lady of the night. It's fine.
I can probably manage that. He says nuts. Are you coming, Miss Fairchild?
Miss Fairchild is just like, "You are certainly not dressed like a lady of the night. Please stop talking."
Boss will probably be happy to see you if that helps. Probably
High
lift
class.
up his spirits.
Fine.
There's a moment
Give her one
where
of
she
Lilith's
kind of
dresses,
like
I swear.
puts her
I'm a celebration,
puts her hand
obviously.
on, like, a
It's
pocket
fine.
and-
I'm more bothered about what the hell's going on. So please, can we get off to the place?
And what were you
Yes,
saying,
let's.
Shakes? Okay.
Miss Fairchild just takes a second, kind of touches her pocket, like, "I have pressing business." Oh no! And she will accompany Miss Griffith. She has no idea what she's doing down here.
Well, this is going well. Let's get going then. Well, come on, Miss Griffiths. Sorry, come on. Lady of the night.
Just-
I'll use more polite terms. I'd usually use a much more shorter and much more abrupt one, but I won't use that today. I've got to be respectful. I'm nothing if respectful to ladies of the night, as you are.
Just lead on, please. I'll deal with
Yeah. All right, yeah. All right. It's all right. My days of drama school probably helped me here, so I think I got it covered.
I have no doubt.
And he kind of like straightens up and then slouches immediately afterwards. And just goes like, "All right, in love, let's get going. Let's get your services. I've got a place down here. Let's get going."
Miss Fairchild is just watching amused now that she's said that she's coming with. She's just like, am I just walking behind you? All right.
And the police do look over. The few officers that are there to kind of look at the building as they hear about this, and they just kind of go. They roll their eyes and they just keep on going. It's just Danny. It's fine. You're muted again, unfortunately.
I just go, Danny is your name?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Danny.
Alright. Danny.
Yeah, I mean, my name's Danny Daniels. It's a bit of a really unfortunate name.
It's not the
It's
worst
actually
name
Daniels.
Daniel
Last
Daniels.
name Daniel.
Middle name
I've got
Daniel?
a place actually. No. My middle name is
Jonathan.
No, it's he just keeps on cutting it off.
Danny, speak up.
It's
here.
Leslie. It's Leslie. It's Danny Leslie Daniels.
Leslie's a popular name where I come from.
Look, alright, it's not me who's meant to be blushing here, it's you. Get with the act.
Clearly you've never been to France.
No,
We make
no, I haven't. We don't have
blush. We
boats.
make others blush, that is what we do.
Right. And
Oh,
whatever.
Leslie.
Don't-
Danny.
She takes his
He's
arm.
on.
Don't call me that. He said you take his arm. And, yep. He gets going. And you get moving, and they get some looks, but a few people just kind of glance over as you make your way to the railway pub. And the two of you arrive outside to... You can see there's a lot of repair work going down even now. They seem to have already started picking it up and getting everything together, even at this state. And you do see a very sad-looking gentleman. He's dressed a bit differently than most of the other people here, just sort of at one of the benches, having a drink. It's very short.
Danny, who is that sir over there? The sad looking one.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to talk to him. He's a bit stabby.
Stabby.
He's stabby. He says and keeps on going, best not to talk to him. He's got a bit of violence in his eye, I see.
Towards women as well?
We don't know. He seems
Stabby.
not too keen on him. So as far as I'm aware, probably. Don't seem too keen about anyone.
Well, I mean,
Around here they call him Stabby Chino.
Gino. Hey, Gino. Hey, nice name. Stabby
Yeah,
Quad.
we don't talk about Gino.
Well, we are talking about Gino. And I just tip my hat to the sad-looking gentleman.
He looks back. Nods a slight bit. Looks a bit confused. And
And enters the establishment.
and you head in, and as you do, you see that the place is already getting back on its feet. There's already drinks being served. A lot of the people who were injured are still there, sat with pints in hand, and all give you a nod. And as you walk in, despite your disguise, the gentleman who's with you, Danny Daniels, he kind of looks over and goes, "It's Cat Detective. It's all right. Yeah, it's not actually some random."
Man, and I take the wig off, the black wig that I was wearing. I just gently take the blue contacts out and pop them away. Someone get me a very bad dress, please.
They all look between each other, and they just kind of nod.
Thank you.
They're like, all over the place. And Danny just goes,
Miss
"It's
Griffiths
all right, we'll get you
almost looks fond, like almost. It's like the
Yeah.
tiniest little curve of a smile, just like,
Yeah.
oh, bless.
And it's as you get there and they go to find you a dress that we will cut back round to Delilah. You've been doing your lesson for a while. It's been about half an hour and you've been let go. The cups finally drop down back into their place. You feel free for now.
She will actually kind of like look at the mirror. You know, she always uncovers before she like, you know, sings and does everything. Before she recovers it again, she kind of looks at the mirror, plays a hand. Please, can I please see Ned?
You see a face look back at you, the same face you're used to of your tutor. And he nods. and vanishes into the mirror as usual, smoke behind it almost. And you see Ned form out of the smoke and appear in front of you as he looks a bit thinner than before, and a bit more pale. But he looks over and goes,
Ned?
Delilah. Delilah, what is this a trick? It's been so long.
Were you actually there in that place? Was it you? Was it actually?
Yes, I saw you a long time ago. It's been a while. He is growing a bit of a beard by this point.
Yeah, she continues like her hand like on the mirror just looks like she wants to like reach in and grab him, but she can't. Yeah, I don't know how to get you out of here, but if I make the man in the mirror happier, maybe he'll let you go. I'm sorry.
No, this isn't your fault, Lila. Don't fit in about that point. He's torn back into reality. He vanishes.
When will you be satisfied?
Nothing comes back.
Mirror.
It's just a mirror. There's nothing in there. You just see your own reflection.
Yeah, she'll put the cloths back on, you know, chain them back, and then she'll go and well, she's assuming Mickey's asleep and doing resting things. She'll be like, Teddy, where are you?
And it's as you're kind of calling. He kind of goes, I'm good, Mom. And you hear it from the autumn suite.
Yeah, she immediately just kind of tenses up and just kind of like grips her skirts very tightly before smoothing it down. She'll rush over, very, you know, like walk quickly as she can without like looking like she's rushing. And she'll kind of open the door and kind of step in. Teddy, may I ask why you're disturbing our guest here?
I ain't disturbing me, Delilah. He's just telling him about cowboys and stuff. You know, he doesn't seem to know many stories from home. You've been starving him of it. He speaks about all these English ones, but
No, he has his nanny. She's French, so he knows a lot of French. He also has his piano lessons. He has his mathematics and his arithmetic, and along with his riding lessons that he should be getting to, and his breakfast, most importantly.
yeah, you should.
And why were you speaking to my son?
Daddy, you should go eat, he says, and Teddy's like, yes, of course. Thank you, Uncle Mickey, he says. He goes, sorry, you go. And he gets going, and then he kind of looks at you, kind of puts the bottle down, and just kind of straightens himself up a bit.
I close the door behind my son.
Yeah.
Very gently, and then just kind of like, I'm usually very scared of Mickey, but I put my hands together like this and turn. I stare him down like, you've been speaking to my son?
Yeah, I mean, he was bored. I thought I'd talk to him, tell him a few stories.
He called you Uncle Mickey. He doesn't give familiarity or forms of familiarity to strangers unless they've met at least 3 times. I know this.
So we've met. I've been here before. A few times.
Not in my presence you've spoken to him. Why would you speak with him?
I mean, back in the day, I did some business for your man, and I talked to him a few times back in the day. I saw him then.
He was a baby then.
Yeah, but, you know, he remembers it, don't he? Besides, I've seen him more recently. I mean, you're out of the house a lot. So, I mean, I just thought I'd check in on him, see if he's doing all right. He was. He's fine. He says and just kind of looks. He's just like, what?
Mickey, if you have any sort of real love for me, you'll stop speaking to my son.
I mean, that seems kind of counterproductive, don't it, Delilah?
And what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, when you're done playing around with all this sort of aristocratic shit, you know? When you come back. I mean, I get it. I get it. He was nice to you, but what did he do? He vanished. Just out of nowhere. Yeah, he's probably some other estate somewhere doing God knows what. But me, I've been here. I've been here for you. For him.
She kind of like walks to like be by like one of the dresses, and like her finger just kind of tap as she's trying her best to calm down, keep calm.
Hey, look, Delilah, if it helps, I haven't told him about any of the business. Of course, that's not his thing. He's got to stay out of that. Keep himself clean. Ain't nothing bad I've told him. Just stories. About how good a voice you got as well. Says he likes you singing, but you always seem sad whenever you're practicing, which seems a bit unfortunate. I mean, you have a beautiful voice, and I mean, you know, you always seemed so happy when you sang back in the day. I don't know what he's done to you, but whatever it is, you know, you always got a place to sing.
Nothing to do with Ned.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Ned has been good to me, and he loves me.
Yeah, I'm sure. But ain't here. It's gone.
And he will come back. Why do you do this, Mickey? I love that man. Why? You threatened my son, and now you say you're gonna do God knows what, take care of him?
Oh wait, he's a good boy. I wouldn't hurt him.
What of the times that you threatened me? You said you'd throw me in prison.
Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't, did I? So obviously, everything's fine. It's like, look, Delilah, it's a business, isn't it? You gotta say certain things. You gotta scare people when you need to, you know? I didn't mean to.
So you feel like scaring me when you need to?
Well, I mean, no, but, you know, you're doing the playing around with the aristocrat thing, you know, trying to be a noble lady. We all know you're not.
What I'm trying is to not embarrass Ned in front of every single one of his peers. I've worked so that he wouldn't be looked down on because he married some American woman who isn't one of those perfect, virginal British women. I've tried. Why did you follow me here? You had a good thing back in America. You had a great life. And now it's what? Small-time wars with gangs that you are obviously losing.
Fuck. Woof.
Damn.
Alright, back into shithead mode.
I'm so mad, man. I'm so...
Good. Good.
We can make all this go away.
You look to have struck a chord with the last bit. He's like, I ain't losing. It's one thing. Look, some widows and some fucking gang members from the Brits did that shit. They burned one place down. They didn't get anything else on me. I got a lot of other places. I got a lot of other people. And when I've healed from this, when I've done that, I'll get even and then some. But that ain't something you need to hear about. And as for coming here, I came here to protect you. You came all the way from home, all the way down to this old country, this washed out, plague-ridden place. For him? He's obviously using you. It's given in it.
No!
What they do.
Ned protected me from you!
That little
You're
bit
the
that
one
did,
who
he's gone and I'm
used me.
here. I never used you.
Not because he wants to. It's my...
Hi, breathe. Breathe. Calm down. It's fine. Look, I ain't gonna get mad. Hey?
What will you do, Mickey?
With what?
Here. You... This
house?
place. It's... No. In London. You said you're here to protect... What is all this? This place isn't good for business. You said so yourself.
It ain't. Business here is shitty. Back home, there's real things to get. But here, it's all
But
fighting.
the air was
over
fresher there,
scraps.
too.
It is. Don't have to wear those stupid gas masks. Don't have the weird dead things coming back. A lot of things better over there, but we can't exactly leave, can we? We came over with your husband, and we can't exactly fly back on over, can we? We're locked here until he gets us back, and he's not exactly revealing his invention now, is he? Because he's vanished, probably into some person's parlor somewhere in the city. Been trying to look for him. Not much has turned up.
He'll be back.
I'm sure.
When he's back,
we'll
please.
go back when you go back. Business ain't good here, but I was keeping an eye on you, making sure he wasn't messing you about. And if he has, I'll deal with him.
He hasn't been.
No.
I told you he will be back, and I'm staying here. I told you.
Mm-hmm. We'll see about that. You know, I've been keeping him off your back, right? You know, the police. They think it's you. They think you did it for his money. Given that you got full access to his bank accounts, you can take out whatever money you want. They think you did. But I'm paying him off for keeping him quiet. I'm making sure the right people don't know about it. If not for me, you'd be in jail or hung. Wanted to.
I'm grateful for that. But while you are in my house, don't speak to Teddy without my permission.
All right. Okay. Fine.
No, you also need to get some rest and some food in you. I'll have someone deliver something up.
He nods. And we'll cut away from the intense argument scene to who else? Let's go. Varuk, you've been on your way home. Where is it you're heading today, just so I can know for when I come back to you?
Yeah, back to work. I would imagine. And then, but basically, business, when he gets home, he would definitely have Herbert to get out some receipts so he can take them back to Delilah at some point. Yeah, but
Herbert gets them out. He's got them all. He's got them all notarized, all in the correct places. He's very efficient.
Okay, then that's pretty much, and then right back to the lab unless somebody else calls or.
Okay, and as you're walking out and you're going away, you see an interesting sight. You see what looks to be a young boy with a big sign outside, and he seems to have some boxes set up. And he looks over to you. A shoe shine, sir? Do you want a shoe shine? I'll try a few different alleys, different places. All need shoe shine everywhere, especially in these days of smoke about. That gets your shoes dusty.
Looks at his tall, like calf-high boots and thinks to himself.
Tell you what, I'll do that for 1.5 shoes. How's that? It's a good deal. Some people do it for 2. The other shoe shiners around here, but not me. Not here. As you see.
Very
shoe shining, Sean.
Let me grab the paper, and I'll grab the newspaper. And I'll sit down.
All right, sir. He says that he dusts off the box, gets it ready for you, and there you go. Right then, let's get to shining. He says, and he gets shine in your shoes.
And as we're going along,
how is it going, Dr. Verricht?
I'll just kind of comment, classist drivel this paper.
I know, right? I mean, the festival does look very good. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Not something I can go to. Not on shoe shining money.
And then he puts the paper down like, why? And then when he says not on shoe shining money, he's like, and goes back to the paper. He's like, and these anarchists, these Americans or whatever, it would have been better if they had burned it all down, I think, and started over.
I can't comment on that, sir. I shine not only English people's shoes, but Americans. So, yeah. He says, and he kind of keeps on going. Plus, with all due respect, he says, and he kind of whispers, the Americans don't know how much a good shoe shine goes for, so I charge them double.
So very American of your capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that word somewhere. Don't know what it means, but I'm keeping going. So I smile when they say it. Like, oh, back home, not many people shoe shine. I'm like, that's fine, but I do here, shoe shine and Sean's. They like it. They like the slogans.
So, Sean, is it,
That's the name.
how often will you be around to do the boots?
Well, how often do you need to shoe shining, sir?
Nowadays, I am spending more time tromping around the streets than I am in the lab. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm sure if you're tramping around the streets, you'll see me. I usually stay around here, sometimes Whitechapel, sometimes other areas. There's a bit of blood out there, so I've not gone there today. Blood does make a mess of the shoes, but isn't good to be around when I'm shining.
You are very wise.
That's what they call me. Wise shoe shining Sean.
No, that's what you call you.
Yeah, it's true.
He slaps him in the head with the paper.
Kind of gives you smug. So that's very unprofessional. I'm running a business here.
That's good. And he'll kind of ignore the boy and let him do his work.
He shines his shoes up real good.
And then the doctor, and what was the charge on it?
Shilling.
Okay. He looks at his coins and realizes he's only got even numbers. So he has to give him even numbers, so he gives him 2 shillings.
Thank you, sir. I remember that. You have a good time.
Come back around, and if you're in the neighborhood, go ahead and knock and have her tell me that you're here.
I usually don't do house calls, but in your case, I might do.
So, auf Wiedersehen. Have a good day.
Wiedersehen to you too, sir. Whatever that means. He says as you leave. And if you do go to the place up there, because I know I've seen you go up and down sometimes. If you go to the festival, could you get me something? I'll pay you back. I'll work it off.
All right.
I've heard there's some good masks there or something. I've heard there's like a really good one. He makes them all individual, and there's some really cool ones. So if you could get one of them, that'd be amazing. I could scare everybody. It'd be great.
A mask, you say?
Yeah, a mask. Like a monster. I don't know what monsters out really here, but it was in paper, wasn't it? It is the year of the vampire. Just remember that.
What would it take to get you to go there?
Well, an invitation, which I'd never get. Most of the people in the high districts get them if they're in the right places, but I could probably attend the outside. Parade does cross over a bit down here, but not the full event. It's probably an invitation, I imagine.
Yes, the vampire. If I get one, I will. How do I get a hold of you?
Well, you can look around the streets or just ask somebody. Most of them know where I am. Usually me as well. I have to shout my ads because otherwise they don't get them. Got to keep on it. You've got to notify them of it. You know, I've got a little bell. I ring that.
Shoe shine, Sean. Well,
shoe shine,
good luck.
Thank you, sir. Don't need luck because I have a business.
And he truly does appreciate this lad. And he turns and walks in the house with a big smile. And
all right, see you later, sir.
How about this class is drivel, so why not use it to wrap meat or something? And I give him the paper. You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Ah, sorry, you do see him nod, and then he takes it, and then he starts to wrap some meat up for you. So.
Okay. And go back to work.
Okay, so you go back to work, and that's where you are for now. And meanwhile, Tillie, you're looking in the lower district. You and Miss Fairchild have made it through. We'll get back to you. Magdalena, you've just left French rich lady, and you've travelled across upper London, and you do make it to Archie's estate. As usual.
Am I able to pass by the carnival on the way there?
You can, indeed. You see the massive dome that's made with little windows in it. And there's a big one at the top that seems to let in the little bit of sunlight they get. And there is sort of this internal garden that takes up quite an area as it's very tended soil. And you do see the door is open, but there are 2 people either side of it. And you do see they have sort of a filtered door that they open. It's very see-through, though. And you do indeed inside see big tents up. You see stalls of different sorts. You catch the scent of many different types of food in there. You can even hear some music being played in there. And you can hear some screams and some laughs and all sorts going on in there.
Okay, all right.
Looks very fun.
Yeah, so she'll keep that in mind as she gets to Archie's house. Because
Okay.
if anyone can get an invitation, aside from herself, it'd be him who can get extras for
Oh, yeah.
anyone who needs to go.
So you head up to the door, and as usual, the gate is opened. The servants don't look at you and just open the gate for you. You pass on through the garden and into the house, where you do see Archie. He is currently stood on a little ladder as he seems to be sculpting a statue.
What are you creating today?
And as you say that, he seems to, with supernatural speed of a dampier, lift up a large sheet and throw it over it before you can see what it is. He goes, oh, nothing, of course. Nothing of interest to you, of course. What can I do for you? It's lovely to see you again. It's been days since I've seen you.
It has been. I have been brooding.
Oh, dreadful. Come, my love. He says and gestures, and you see his servants kind of clean away the tools they need to without even looking at him. He kind of gestures as you're in his grand parlor.
Mm-hmm.
We can have some tea and discuss these things at length, as long as you...
Yes, I receive death threat.
Oh, dreadful.
I know, it was not just death threat, it was a stick.
Oh, vampiric death threat. That's
I
very
know,
different.
like,
I
how
thought you
would
meant
they
normal,
know?
mundane death threat.
I know, that. I mean, I'm used to both, but not in this country.
Well, seems we have some problems then. If they're aiming at you, then perhaps they will at me, yet I don't like
Perhaps.
people going after you.
You're so romantic.
I know. So, he says, and he leads you through into a very nice, comfortable lounging area, and he sits down, and he gestures for you to take a seat on a very nice sofa. Come to tell me about all of your problems.
Of course. And she'll go into detail about her little group of friends that she's kind of made and how she tried this pizza. She does not mention the date, though.
Good.
We went to pizza with group of friends.
Friends.
Yes, the
Good to have
people I
friends,
met
I've
at
heard.
museum. I am trying to make human friends, like you say, blend in more.
It is
Chicken
good
Boy is
blending.
doing well. He did overhear Irene say she might eat him if I did not bring dinner
Oof.
home soon, and I was able to convince him was expression.
You
Thankfully.
are very good with your words, so I can imagine
Sometimes.
he's bought it hook, line, and sinker, as they say.
Yes, but it was a very close call. I have not had humans in house in a long time.
Of course, he says. He sort of, you see him gesture, and you see there's a screen that's been set up in the room, and you see a servant nod before they hold out a cup, and then they seem to produce a full cup afterwards and bring it over to you before placing it in front of you with fresh blood.
Thank you.
It's fine. I have some very good Italian on tap.
Oh, really?
I thought when you mentioned pizza, that might be to your taste. So.
Yes, it was very interesting. Thankfully, there was no garlic on it, so...
Of course.
Yes,
That's
it could have
very
been
good. I
very
know you
close.
have an allergy, but it's a very
I
traditional
don't.
vampire style. It's very interesting.
Yes, it's fun. It's very funny.
So, your friends seem interesting, though. Good to keep them. The
Yes.
Berkeley lady, very interesting. Her husband, I believe she killed him.
I do not
That's
think
what's being
so.
said. I
Really?
don't run
That is
by
an
into-
interesting rumor. I think
And you see him,
she's
he looks
very
over to the servant and goes,
concerned.
"Pekka." And they kind of come over and he whispers something and they go, "Carry on."
I do not think she killed him. She's too distraught, like actual distraught to have murdered
That's what I
him.
thought, but then my first wife, she murdered her ex-husband, and She was distraught at first as well. But it happened that she just wanted to stab him one day, and she did. So, these things
It
are very
happens.
complicated. It does
Yes.
happen.
How long ago was
People
that?
fall on knives all the time.
I do. It's quite tragic.
Oh, that was a long time ago, that. 70 years.
Almost
perhaps.
70? Oh, yes. Yes, very long time.
Yes. I mean, for this family. For this
Yes, it's true. You are a bit younger.
Compared
It's
to
fine.
you, yes. But not everybody's as steeped as you are, that's all.
It's true. I have very good bloodline. But there's also carnival in town, and I think we should go. It is.
Carnival.
Did you
You mean
hear?
the
It is
year of
year
the
of vampire. I know. It's so fun. If people question, we can say we dress up. It's very funny. No.
Yes, that sounds delightful. I have been invited, of course, as an honoured guest. Ironic, given, of course, the year of the vampire.
Very ironic. They have no idea.
Yes. No, they're completely clueless, all the sheep.
They're so stupid.
They are, yes. I've been reading a good book recently on human husbandry, actually. Very interesting. Teaches you how to teach them tricks. I usually just use the eyes. I just look at them and I'm like, you will do
Yes,
this.
it is good. I really appreciate the chapter on cultivating further food. Some people prefer your method. Others prefer the free range, where you get a town or a village and then you just set up yourself and make yourself integral. So they need you to survive, to protect against other things.
I remember it. Yes.
I think that is my preferred method.
That's fair. That's understandable. Yes. I prefer to just import them. More specialized that way. I can be like,
it is true. You get wider variety. You don't have to worry about inbreeding. It happens. It's fine.
It is a worry with them.
It is. Especially in smaller village. Oof. But yes. I think carnival would be nice. Could you get extra invitations?
Yes. How many are needing? Is it for your friends?
Yes, for my friends.
Oh, very well. I'll get you.
And maybe Chicken Boy. He's been good, Chicken Boy. Yes.
Tell you what, how about I'll give you your invitations. You can be my +1, and of course I can get Chicken Boy in as your escorted child.
Yes, that will be fine.
You can say you picked him up from somewhere.
Yes, a charitable cause. That stuff.
Orphans do usually bring the good feels, as some people say. They make you look good. That's why I kept a few around for a few years, but it always got lost.
Oh, I mean, I suppose it's easy to lose them.
It is, yes, so small. So dreadful. Fall off ledges and things. It happens. But regardless, very easy to replace. There's a lot of them. Like cats, but cats, they're smart. They'll land correctly.
That's true. Children do not know how to land from fall.
They do not. No, they never land on their feet, I've found.
They don't.
Maybe
they're more like horses. No.
This dreadful Dampier talk continues for a while as you speak about the sheep
and then
of humans.
and then after the invitations get there, she's gonna go. It's been a couple days. She will personally deliver these invitations.
Do you have a look at the statue he's working on before you leave?
Only if I think I can peek without him knowing.
Could you give me a shadow check, please?
Am I good at shadow? Oh, I'm a little good at shadow. Okay. 18.
Yeah, you managed to sneak in and then sneak out immediately with your vampiric speed. You're just like, you've already got a good look. And you see a very beautiful form, which is perfectly shaped, and it has a beautiful feminine face and flowing hair and an interesting crown on them, and they're posed beautifully. So beautiful, in fact, you believe it to be yourself.
So sweet. I have not had statue of me in this country yet, so those are all back home. I say nothing. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Okay, and you make your way out, and you get your invitations. You get enough for all of your friends, with an addition to a +1 if they want one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Archie pulls the strings.
Attaboy.
So you go to drop them off, and we'll get back to you on that one as you begin to do that. But meanwhile, Tillie Griffiths and Miss Fairchild over with the car. So you're delivered a horrible-looking dress, Tillie. It is a brown dress. You don't think it was always brown, but it is now. It has some stitching on the side that looks like it's been patched together multiple times.
Oh, wonderful.
And it has a stink of whiskey.
I just go into the side toilet and just get changed.
You do so. And as you are, Miss Fairchild, Danny Lawrence Daniels, kind of looks at you and goes, "So, she your friend?"
She's an acquaintance.
She single?
I haven't inquired. Not particularly my area, Danny.
Just thought I'd ask, just in case, you know?
Perhaps it would be a better idea to ask her.
That's a bit direct, isn't it? It's about that time that, Tillie, you've got changed, you come out. Right, you ready to meet boss?
I my hair a little bit,
Okay.
so I look a little bit more beraggled.
You look horrible.
Excellent, that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah,
right.
I know. Otherwise it'd be a really shit compliment.
Sure. Mr. Carr, where is he?
Oh, he's in his room.
Do I need to
take you
move? Can I just go up? Or yes, excellent.
Yeah, well, pretty big deal around here. So I think if I say yes, then yes.
Whatever you say, Danny. Let's go.
All right. He's seemingly happy that you've called him his actual name and not Lawrence. As you make your way, and he leads you through, and you see him talk to a few people, and they kind of wave him through. And he makes his way slowly until you see him taken to a very nice-looking door. And he knocks on it.
Oh, for the love of...
And after that, he is a... Hey, what's up? Oh, it's me, boss. Danny. Lawrence. Yeah, let him in. He kind of looks a bit deflated for a minute and goes, yeah, boss. And then opens the door.
Oh, poor dear.
You see, you get... There's some smoke that whiffs out. It smells interesting. Your head feels slightly light. Come on in.
I gently just hold my respirator. Just okay.
So you head on in, and
head on.
as you do, if the two of you head in, and Miss Fairchild, you know this scent quite easily. You know this is the scent of very refined, at least, and safer than the rest, but still not safe, of opium. It seems. Some sort of opiate that is no doubt treating the pain. And he
just start quietly breathing a bit shallower so that I don't inhale tons of just random opiates.
Yeah, it's not good to do that. But he seems to be on a course of painkillers, so to speak, as you walk in, and you do see why, and he looks to be quite beaten up. He's got a lot of bandages on him where he's been treated. You know, his nose has been popped back in place. But there is a slight kink in it, and you see that he does look like he's got a black eye that's healing, and he looks worse for wear. But he's sat quite confidently in his chair. He's probably not meant to be. He's probably meant to be on bed rest, but he's sat in his nice chair. He's got a couple of things on the side, a couple of books, and he's just smoking something as he kind of looks.
What's he reading?
You can give me a quick wit check, please.
Of course, that's what I do. That's a perception. It's +7.
Yep, wit perception.
18.
He seems to be reading 2 books at the moment. They're both on different pages. He seems to be flicking between the 2. One of them seems to be of the title of Dracula, and another one, you can't see the cover, but you can see the words, and it looks to be some sort of really over-the-top romance novel.
Mr. Carr, you look like shit.
I bloody do, yeah. You don't know.
But I'm very
Looking
glad
well,
not
Miss
to see
Fairchild.
you in an official capacity, at least.
Aye, aye. Well, come on in then. You're letting a draft out. Quite enjoying having the smoke in here. It's cleaner than air outside.
Cleaner and as good for you.
Hey, do you want a cuppa?
And I will sit down.
You take a seat down. He's got a couple seats in there, a bed on the side. There's kind of a lot of really nice, different sort of things that he's taken from his many robberies and the like that he's got. But yeah, he kind of seems to just look over at both of you and just gesture to take a seat. He's like, "Oh, do you want a cuppa? I've just got a couple brewed, so I can get you. Get one of them."
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, he leans over with like, "Oh," and then just gets a cup, pours you some tea, chucks a bit of milk in it, and then a shrugger stirs it and then passes it over to you. Rather than the sort of dainty cups that you find a lot of other people drink from, he gives you quite a mug of it, and just slides it over. And same for you, Tillie. He makes you one and just slides it over and takes it back and puts an extra sugar in and then gives it back to you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm counting your beans this week.
That's very nice of you, Mr. Carr.
It's all right. I read that one and this one. It's pretty good.
I'm seeing your reading. Getting in the spirit
Alright.
of All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping to, get a couple of. Well, I was thinking of putting on a few events actually for some of the kids. The Kai's got a big one, so we're getting one down here, but I can't really move much, so it's going to be hard. But the way I see it is I'm reading Dracula because it's Year of Vampire, and this one's quite a good bloody book actually. It's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, something dreadful based off of it.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I can get some stuff made. Make like an area for them or something. There's a couple of less fortunates that might do well with some celebrating. So,
That's very kind of you, Mr. Carr.
Yeah, I also managed to nick some candy from them up there, so that'll be good. They've got some good sweets.
If you want candy, I can give it to you legitimately. Do you have some candy?
It's all right. I robbed basically a cart's full, so it's all right. I got a lot of it.
As long as you're covered.
I'm covered.
Good. Speaking of covered, do you have my gun?
Yeah. I think it's in drawer. Over there. You say it again, gestures over to the other side of the room. I get it, yeah, but
No, please don't get up. And I go and get my gun and I inspect that it's okay.
yeah. So you go over to the side drawer and you open it, and inside you do see there's quite a few what looks to be small books, manifestos of sorts for different orders, and there is a gun there as well with a couple rounds left.
Right.
And you do also see a what looks to be a letter that has been recently opened with a very nice seal on it.
Do I recognise the handwriting?
You don't recognize the handwriting. But actually, no. Give me a very quick forensic science check.
Okie dokie, that's a 4. Plus 4, no, plus 4. 2, 4, wrong. Great.
Okay.
14.
All right. So, on your 14, you do recognize the handwriting. It seems to have been written by a noble. You don't recognize who. It has a feminine script to it.
Noble. Female. Interesting.
The front says, "To Robbie." And there is a, instead of a seal, it's lipstick.
Oh, bless.
Oh, that's quite nice. I'll turn around with my gun and put it back to where it is. I
What's
hope
nice?
it was useful. Nothing.
Well,
My
don't
gun's
say
in.
something nice if there's no nice. Come on, don't hold out. We're all friends here, I think.
Your letter. It. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. One.
We're just having a lady friend.
I mean, I have a couple of lady friends. I don't
Well,
discriminate.
extra congratulations are in order. Clearly, I just thought it was sweet. That's all.
Oh, you mean like that? No.
No, don't be crude. Mr. Carr. The kiss on the letter. I thought it was
Carr, is
sweet.
it? Jesus, all right then. Didn't realise you were mum. He says as he kind of looks at you.
No, I'm not old enough.
Yeah, I know you're not. You're definitely not. But anyway, I'll refrain from my usual lines, but no, it didn't like that. She's friend. Good friend. Best friend. Big T's, but best friend.
Right.
Not to say that I wouldn't, but...
You don't have to prove anything to me, Mr. Carr, I assure you.
Well, I just feel like I do now. I'm on the spot.
Please, I'd actually prefer if you didn't, and tell me what exactly happened at the,
Well, nothing happened.
rescue, not that.
All right.
You're almost leaning forward to, like, really just sort of pat him, but then just refrains and...
All right.
You're going to make me go blind. Please just tell me what happened.
Trust me, that ain't what makes you go blind. And the other thing they say, not true.
Robbie, just...
Yeah, all right, Mr. Fairchild. He smiles a bit. You can tell that he...
No, I understand. I am an easy target, as they say. I know.
Remarkably easy, he says, and kind of takes a sip of his cup.
I am trained in unarmed combat, sir, and you are injured. So, watch your tongue.
Oh.
Like I want
Could
to
we
train
please just get to the... Could we please just get to the point, please?
We certainly can, Miss Fairchild. And what would the point be? I mean, I appreciate the visit.
Well, it's always best to see whether people are alive in person.
And it's good to see you, Will. Gotta say.
Thank you.
So what can I do
We
for
saw
you?
you rather indisposed by our colonial brigade. I'm rather curious as to how you managed to escape their clutches.
Well, a
I'm
bunch of
very
widows
grateful
saved
that
me,
you
didn't
did.
He says and kind of smiles a bit. That's no joke, by the way. I'm serious. Yeah, no, a couple of them. I'm a bit off yet, so it's hard to remember all the names, but Stabby Gino, he went and stabbed some people, I've heard. Yeah, who else was it? Edith, you know, the one who owns pub. Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's been around for a while. She came, helped out. Surprising, really, but then again, she's lost a lot of her family, so, you know, appreciate it.
I've been to her establishment. She runs it with an iron fist, so I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Yeah, she does. Letty, if you know her. Letty came over. She helped out. Surprised, really, with that. Didn't expect her to have her hands dirty, but not in that way. In other ways, sure, but not in that way. But, yeah, and we lost one of them, at least. So, yeah. You know, the ex-Molly.
Condolences.
Biggie. Lovely one.
Grief does things to people.
It does. And I'm sure wherever they are now, they're reunited, ain't they? So. But anyway, I don't want to get all teary on you, so business, what we need to talk about.
What did they ask you in particular?
The Americans. Mostly just hit me, but some questions did get through the punches. Asked me a few things, maybe about my operation, trying to find out where the rest of them were hidden, who else works for me, trying to find a couple of things as well, saying they think we have some sort of items that we've been flogging, wanting some stuff for an auction that we're going down. The one I told you about before.
Specificity?
Yes.
I wish they were, but mentioned something about a mask, some sort of big expensive mask or something, and a dagger. Remember, a dagger is a bit weird. Like, I usually just call it a shaving knife, you know, stabber. But they said it's a dagger. They were very specific on that.
Any kind of description of either item?
Described it a bit. The mask, not so much. They didn't have one for it. But dagger, yeah, they did have some stuff for it. I think I wrote it down. Over in that drawer, he says, and gestures to you, Tillie. Gestures to another drawer in his study.
Yeah, just pull open the drawer.
You do so, and as you do see there is a lot of notes here, but there's the more recent one that's at the top that seems a bit more hastily written, that you do look at, and it does describe the dagger in a bit of detail.
Yes, that does seem to match the dagger that we're for. I turn to Miss Fairchild.
Huh. Interesting.
Good.
Quite a nasty
I might have
little
some
thing.
information on that then. Oh, it is, yeah. But the thing is, I was originally going to go and get some Malads to do it, but unfortunately we're a bit busy. So there's an auction going down. Word on the streets is the American lot have been arranging it, but I've heard different. I've heard that somebody else, a third party, so to speak, someone they don't know about, a seller of things strange. And they're having one underground, but I don't know where. I've been trying to get the information out of them, but I can't quite get it. Originally, the idea was to take Mickey, figure it out from him, but as you can see, kind of got one over on me. I aim to get even with that.
I do hope you do.
No, I will. The time will tell. But I'll get him.
Theoretically, I could also wish that, but I want no part in the details, so...
You can theoretically wish it then, and I'll theoretically punch him in the face for you.
I'll lend you my theoretical knuckle dusters if you like.
Theoretically, that's very sound.
Mm.
More tea? You say he's already filling your cup.
Sure.
Brilliant.
As long as it's not laced with what you're smoking, yes, thank you.
Oh, bloody hell, no, I don't lace people. Jesus Christ, what do you think I am? He says he sits
Mr.
back.
Carr is the
Somewhat
consummate
generous,
gentleman.
I suppose.
I'm a dealer, not a fucking villain.
All right, all right.
Well, I guess I am a villain of sorts, but that's not here nor there. We're
Street
surviving.
pharmaceutical salesman.
Yeah, I'm a strict pharmaceutical salesman. I'm a door-to-door salesman. Yeah. Now he kind of looks at you and goes, anyway, you won in that auction. That's where you'll find the dagger. That's where you'll find the mask, probably. That's where you'll find a lot of shit.
Oh.
You need it, though. You have to get an invite from someone out there. It's important. I've heard people who have interest in big things, usually rich, really fucking stinking rich, I'm talking. Or, of course, the Americans.
I'd rather speak to the moneyed than the corrupt.
Actually, I think I have a way in on that.
You do? Good. I expect as such from Master Detective Tillie Griffiths.
There's... What do you know of the Marriott family, Mr. Carr?
I know a few things, he says, and that's where we'll cut your scene.
Okay.
Magdalena, you're leaving the manor, and you walk out.
I feel great for an hour.
You do. And as you're walking, you begin to pass over by the event once more, and you do see people looking out in masks. They seem to be different sort of caricatures of different monsters. There's one that looks like a rotten zombie face. There's another that looks like it is what looks to be a vampire with big extended fangs and a big Blair face. And you do see others that look interesting as well. And they're sort of milling about the area, and a couple look at you as you pass, but then dip their heads back inside.
She'll kind of look at these masks and be like, wait a moment. Masks. And she's going to hurry off to probably the doctor's house first, because I think this is probably first.
So you hurry off.
She just strides off with the warlord's, fast walking steps. She doesn't run. That is beneath her at this point, but
very good.
She moves with purpose.
So you make your way through with purpose to the doctor's house, and you arrive, and the doctor is working away as you're let in, and you're told to go upstairs. They know you, so they let you in. Doctor, you're working as the door opens. You see Magdalena step in.
What's your workshop like?
Yeah, what is it like?
It would depend. Am I in the lab or am I in the morgue?
You're in the lab.
Okay. There's like Jacob's ladder kind of Tesla type devices.
Would it be possible to smell the morgue, though? Is the question.
You do catch a whiff of something.
Did something die in here?
And that is where we'll call your scene. Meanwhile, Delilah, you've had your argument.
Mm-hmm.
And Mickey and you still there.
He's probably is exactly after their argument?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Or it can be a little while if you wish it to be.
Well, she would have left to get him some food after she was like, you
Okay,
should
cool.
eat.
So yeah,
and
you've
would have
gone
had her
away
from
then.
arranged
You've
for him.
had time to calm down, and you've got food prepared for him.
Mm-hmm.
Your maid kind of goes, "Do you want me to take it in for you?"
No, I will.
Very well. They hand it over to you.
Yep. She'll give her another grateful thank you. You know, I can't be that rude to my maids. She's usually very nice, just these days she's snappish. she'll take the plate and then she will she'll head in again.
Brilliant
Set
stuff.
down the tray.
So you head in again, and as you do, you walk on through, and you do see Mickey is he's sat back by now in the chair. He's sort of sat waiting. And he just kind of looks over to you a bit guiltily. And just, thank you. Yeah, it looks real good.
Yeah, chicken pot pie. My cook likes to make it. Next to curry, but
Good. I miss a good pot pie. Do you want to share it?
no, I have my own.
All right. He says and kind of nods.
Besides, eating too much isn't good for my voice. You need to have a hollow sound, not full.
Nah, you always had a very full voice. It sounds great.
Not according to my tutor. It's supposed to sound like the hollowed halls of a church.
Ugh, that sounds horrible. I mean, I remember you playing the bars. You'd sing. You'd sound amazing. You'd get some food. You'd have a drink. It was a good time. Well, this tutor of yours seems a bit uptight.
You've heard about my tutor, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
They follow me here too.
Well, I mean, I ain't one to judge that because I kind of did it myself, so it's not exactly something I can speak on, but bit tight for tutor.
Yeah, it is. Still. What's your plans then? She kind of gestures for him to eat while she kind of sits herself down by
Yeah,
the
he
foot of
gets
the bed.
eaten, and he's like, depends on what you mean. Delilah, what do you mean?
You still have your business to run. Please don't turn my home into one of your
I
new
won't
safe houses.
bring any of that to your home. Promise.
All right.
I'm thinking I'll lay low for a while if you'll have me here for a bit. I can't go to my other places yet. If I step in those territories, it'll be too obvious. Gotta let my people do their job that I've set them to. After that, I'll go back as soon as I can. I'll be out of your hair. Won't be a problem. But until then, I'm here.
Yeah. All right.
For whatever you need. I'll help what I can, but unless it's hearing from one side, because that ain't happening anytime soon.
Yes, well, at least you can look roguish now.
Yeah, I think it adds to my roguish charm,
I'm not going to flatter you today. I'm in a bad
I know,
mood
it's
with you
fine.
still.
I'll do it myself. I'm used to that.
Mm-hmm. Still, you are welcome to stay as long as you need, not as long as you want. You know there's a difference there, Mickey.
I know there's a difference. And I
That's
appreciate it, okay? I do. Ain't got nowhere else to lay low right now that's safe but here. And thank you. You're a good friend.
I only let you here because of whatever madness was between us. I hope you know that.
That's madness. It's called friendship, ain't it? And for what it's worth, I didn't say anything bad to the kid. I'll stay away from him unless you say, but he's a smart kid. Gotta give him
He
that.
is. Yes, he takes after his father.
Probably.
She gives him the look.
Yeah, he just seems to accept that. He's like, yeah, probably. He's a scientist. Yeah, well, anyway. I won't wish any harm on him. I'm sorry for what I said before. It's, you know what it's like. You've seen it.
Yeah. I shouldn't, but I'll forgive you this time.
Well, thanks.
Shouldn't. Anyway, so, also, that hug earlier, I would like you to forget about it. I felt sympathy. That was it.
All right. Well, thank you, milady, for your sympathy, and I'll try and wipe it from my memory. He says he kind of looks at you a bit funny, but then not. If you need anything else, let me know. I owe you. So whatever you need, you got it. You want tickets to the event? I'm pretty sure you already got it, but I can get you some.
What event?
Halloween one. The big old.
Oh, the one in the papers?
Yeah, it's good stuff, apparently.
Is that the one, like, out of character? Is that the one we talked about with the auction?
It isn't. The auction is a separate event that you know that Mickey's got some involvement in that might have to do with the mask.
And has he talked about said auction in front of her?
You've heard about it. He hasn't talked about it, but you've heard from somebody that he knows about it. It's not like
we heard from Robbie.
But it's not like a...
Okay, so it wouldn't be suspicious if I ever brought it up. Right.
Take your risk.
All right. So she'll kind of nod. She'll kind of continue sitting. You know,
Okay.
I will go to the event. I'm assuming Teddy would like a day off. But...
Yeah, I imagine. He seems to be really stressed. He's been trying to work hard to impress you, apparently. He's studying his piano every day, so...
Yes, his little fingers when he plays is just so lovely. He's so adorable. He kind of looks a bit like oh, a moment before like remembering. He's like, no, business. Right. So you know how I was working on this little pet project of mine with my associates?
Oh yeah, your friends. Yeah. About the what was it again?
Curios.
Oh, yeah, it's a good word. I like that word.
Yes, I like it too. The British have an interesting knack for fun words.
Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of them are a bit more sleuthy, and they've come up with a couple of information from their various sources.
All right. Okay.
They
What
said something about
information?
an auction
Oh, you mean
that may have something to do with some of the missing things we're trying to look into.
I might know what you're talking about.
I think you may too. They said the Americans had something to do with handling it.
And we do. I was approached by someone. I gave them a place that's safe. They gave me their assurance that I get a cut of the profit. We give them safety. They do their auction. Everything's good.
Okay. And
Weird person, you know, like strange looking.
what do you mean strange looking?
Like a real light suit, you know? Like I don't see many people wearing white. But this person wore like white on white with a white tie. It was weird.
Sorry, I'm just admiring Lindy's expression right now. Just give me a moment.
That's just like the right hand side of the screen is a freak out right now.
Yeah, I love it.
so-
Anyways, okay.
Weird.
I love that. I love
interesting.
that.
A lot of watches as well. Seemed obsessed with the time. He had like different times for different time zones, if that's a thing. I don't know. I know that American's different from here, so.
Yeah, it's because of the whole rotation of the Earth and how the sun rises. It's complicated. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, that was a
That
lot.
taught me
I don't
once.
think I'm ready for that. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Different time zone. Yeah, okay, cool.
So, this person is the one who deals with this sort of things?
Well, they're the one who's supplied the goods. I doubt they're the one running it. They seemed mighty important. Seemed real uninterested in a lot of things, but was convinced this must go on. They said they got some good stuff here, that they need to sell it, that they have people who are important who want it. That'll be worth a lot of money, you see.
And how does one go to such an event then?
Well, you get an invitation.
And do you hand out invitations, Mickey?
I can open a lot of doors.
Yes, as you used to do all the time. I know.
Let's just say if I needed to have somebody in the place, I could get them in.
What about 5? Somebody's.
If they was somebody's, I could swing it. If the
You know the
nobodies... Yeah, I know Varuk. Yeah, I can get him a ticket, whatever. I doubt he can buy anything. He's on a doctor's budget down there, but
That
You can look at it.
cat detective?
oh yeah, we know her. Yeah, Tillie Griffiths, right? Yeah, we know about her. Great, we've heard stories. She's the one who did the great chocolate heist story, right? Yeah, she tracked the great paw prints back with the cats, and she also managed to find a sticky door handle with chocolate. That's how she found the chocolate thief. I've heard about that. It was a pretty good story. Yeah, I know her. We have a good laugh about it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you also, Ricky went on a date with the artist, Magdalena, and the last one I would like is Miss Fairchild, the mourner. All of them are somebodies, I'd say. Not that sort of somebody, but enough.
Yeah, I'd say with the Griffith one, like, keep it on the down low that she's looking into shit. Like,
Yes.
not everybody there is all on the up and up, so as long as you make sure she ain't gonna go around trying to arrest people, then we're good. Only I don't want your friend ending up dead and then you're blaming me, you know?
I haven't blamed you for anything you don't deserve yet, Mickey.
Well, she ain't on my list, so,
Good. I'd like to keep that way. But if you can do that, consider this my one in exchange for letting you stay here.
alright.
I would have preferred to hold on to the favor longer, but this is urgent.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'll get you it. He kind of takes out a piece of paper from the side and a pen and just scribbles down a few things. Talk to this guy. He'll get you sorted. Tell him that I sent you. He'll know you did it anyway. It's not like you go anywhere else.
Oh. Should I be worried then? If there's such a stationary man?
I'd say just don't tell him anything you don't want him to know already. He'll ask a lot.
Alright. Thank you.
You know, not everything
No.
down there in the auction is all up and up, you know. Not all of it's nice.
I know.
So you just gotta turn a blind eye to it. It's business.
One of the curios that I'm looking at involves making people murder others. I imagine it would not be pleasant.
I think that's just called being human. But fair enough.
I'm human. I've never wanted to murder anyone. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're like an angel, ain't you, though? Like, I'm speaking humans, like people who do shit, you know? Not like, you know, there's levels.
Sometimes
Look, I
I
ain't
don't
gonna get
understand
into
you.
it, okay? I don't want to sweet talk you too much, but you should get going. Go and see what those people
Yeah.
need.
Go get some rest. I'm gonna go
Enjoy
get
your
Teddy
festival.
ready. I should go call my seamstress. Yes. Well, have a good sleep.
Well, I will.
If you need anything, I'll get your room supplied. I'd rather my servants not have to handle this.
Yeah, no worries. I can see it myself, mostly. Most of the wounds ain't that bad. It's just this one. But, you know, it is what it
Sleep it
is, and
off,
I'll
then.
get him back for it. It's fine. So, you know, I'll sleep it off. Yeah, he says and smiles at you a bit. Thanks, Delilah. You have a good night, all right?
Alright.
Will you be safe with
She
this
gives
one?
him like a... Yeah, she gives him like the reluctant kind of like, the greeting wah wah before like leaving. Because that's
That's
just kind
fine.
of customary. And then she'll kind of close the door behind her. And she'll give her closest friend here that's, not, the people that she has to like work with, a little, I guess, telegram? Because we don't have phones
You
yet.
can send her a message. You can get a runner to go and
Yes.
find somebody.
I'm
Who
gonna
you
get-
want to find?
Rouge de la Cour. She is her fashionista and tailor friend who is very, very good at keeping her up to speed and making sure she is just the right amount of appropriate while still looking glamorous. Because, gotta teach those British people how to look good.
And as you send your glamogram,
Mm-hmm.
they leave. We'll call it there for today. So, thank you very much for playing, everybody. Next session, we'll be getting on with, of course, you dealing with what's coming next. You've managed to get a ticket into possibly getting away into the auction. You've managed to find out some stuff about the event that's going on. You've managed to find out a lot between all of you. So, that's what we'll call it for today. So, we'll go around. Let us know who you are, where we can find you, something you're working on, and your favorite moment from tonight. So, we'll go around the same way as before, and we'll start with Delilah. Thank you
All
for
right,
playing.
hi everyone. Yes, that was really, really fun. Well, traumatic too, but fun. As you know, as always, I'm Delilah Berkeley. I'm Lark Laurie on Twitter and Laurie Lark on Instagram because Twitter decided to flip my name backwards. Okay, favorite moment. Ooh, this is probably my least. I've said this before. This is my least favorite part of the session because I always have to pick a place and just like, in terms of like the funniest parts, I still think it's probably Irene being a mood with Magalilina. It's like, ugh. But you know, as usual, the Miss Fairchild and like Griffiths like together, like detective duo. That was always great to see a comeback with. And I really liked the little bits of the Easter eggs from the little two-shot we did. That was like very sweet, like little Gino, Shushan, and Sean. That made me. Oh, that was good. Especially Shushan and Sean. Like I really needed that after my really heated argument with Mickey. That was.
Yeah, I thought we needed a very
Like my heart
Shushan
was like.
show.
So, instant like Shushan and Sean. I was like, oh, the gods of Bach, now have smiled down on me. It was good. It's good stuff. And yeah, that's like, again, really difficult, but I just really love the dynamics as usual, and that was good. As for me, who I am, you could probably find me on Twitter doing things, maybe posting cat pictures on Instagram. I'm probably going to be working on like a little tribute towards my like current obsession, which is FF14. Maybe doing cover, who knows, something, assuming I get off of the game. Maybe not. Addiction is terrible.
Brilliant. So moving on from Addiction is Terrible to Laugh-Levendi.
Hey. Yeah, I'm addicted to tabletop RPGs, but I don't think it's terrible. I had so much fun today. I loved Magdalena bumping into Tillie. That was a blast. Just her exasperation with being like, why are you disguised? Like, this seems very unnecessary, and it was just fabulous. And then I cannot wait to pick back up next week with the Doctor and Magdalena, because they haven't had any time by themselves. And since he treated her, I'm sure he's going to notice that her ear has grown back. So that'll be a fun conversation to have. And he's got a morgue, so I think the two of them are going to be fast friends very soon. But yeah, so many good moments. I love the Easter eggs as well. I loved it. I loved all of it. I cannot say enough good things. But you can find me online at Laugh-Levendi, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs, including on my channel, if you like spooky things. Every Tuesday we have Mists of Ravenloft from 9 to 11-ish Eastern. And keep an eye out, because there's going to be some Halloween one-shots coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend on my channel, and maybe on Holla's channel that I'm DMing once I figure out what that is. But yeah, check it out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm looking forward to whatever you run for your Halloween thing on my channel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Whatever it is, I don't know. It's only in a week. It's fine. Anyway, so moving on to brilliant Shakespeare.
Let's prep.
Hi, I'm Shakespeare, and I've played Miss Fairchild, who I love. I can't pick a moment. There was just so many, but I think it's definitely just Dr. Farouk being like, you know, we could kill him. We could kill him. It could happen right now. Like, just a couple of extra pills, and then I come back later. And all of us just kind of being like, kill him! Just kill him! And Delilah and Tillie are just like the moral heart of this, and we're all ignoring them. I absolutely loved all of the callbacks. That was fantastic. Oh, it's such a great session, and I really love it. And oh my god, you killed me with my child. He's so cute. Oh my god.
I'm glad.
Can't say no to, like, I'm picturing it like little kid, and I'm like, oh god, no, I'm gonna take this child to this festival. I can see it now. Oh no. So I'm Shakespeare. You can find all of my other games on my Twitter, which is Shakespeare, as well as my Instagram, which is the same handle all the time. I also knit things at Crit1Pearl1, so you can find me there and see what I'm working on. I love this game so much. Oh.
Edit loves you.
I'm also so glad Robbie's not dead.
Robbie isn't dead, and it's all you're doing. You all did great. You did great. I watched the episodes, loved them, so I was very happy with it. And okay, but moving on Tillie Griffiths.
Hi, I'm Humbledore. I played Tillie Griffiths. Oh, favourite moment. Ooh. It was probably the return of Shoe Shining Sean, because after the absolutely goddamn heavy, heart-wrenching drama, just that little burst of, alright, I'll shine your shoes. Like, just, yes, instant stress relief. Everything's going to be fine. It was great. The continuity is also like it's beautiful. Finding the letter. Oh, so nice. Like knowing it's written by oh god, I can't remember her name.
Lilith?
No, it's not written by Lilith. It's written by the Doctor.
Because she's illiterate.
Yeah.
Lady Faye Dunmire.
Lady Dunmire, yeah.
Miss Dunmire. Oh, it was just like perfect.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Online you can find me at Humbledore6 on Twitter. I'm currently working towards deadlines in 2 weeks for uni, so I have no life outside of here. But you can find me on Mondays on Hollow's channel, playing Ghost of Saltmarsh variant, kind of.
Kind of gone way off track by now from that. But yeah,
it's basically homebrew Let's Be Pirates game, and it's like super fun. So, yeah.
Okay, brilliant, and thank you very much for playing. And Dr. Verrucht.
Greybeard at Greybeard's Tavern. Check my Twitter for schedule. I realized that I will be playing 9 games in 7 days. So yeah, it's
Woo, welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots
I'm
of
normally
coffee.
five or six a week, but this week and October, I may enjoy a little bit about Halloween. So it's that kind of a month. Favorite moment, I was broken with the French. Why? I just cracked me up so bad. Just so bad. I loved it. And tonight, I'm just going to say Hollowtail. My goodness, you were bringing it with all the NPCs. At the end there where you're like, there's, not like you, like people. Like there's levels. I just, oh my god, it was killer. It was just, there's levels. It just made me laugh. Like I said earlier, this crew is so immersive and everybody's so on point all the time. You and Hollow and Delilah, or Mickey and Delilah's argument was just amazing. It was so real that it brought everything out. And of course Humbledore with her accent was like so smack on. I'm like, oh yeah, she's probably been speaking French for years. So now I know you're saying that, but anyway, that's I love this game, and so we'll be back next week.
We certainly will be. And I'm very much looking forward to getting forward with this. We've got a lot to come. There's a lot more drama and action to come from this, as well as we're rounding into the final parts of this investigation and this season. We're halfway through now, so we've got quite a bit more to come, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see where our crew end up in London. But yeah, no, you've all been brilliant. Loved today. Thought it was absolutely fun. It's great to be back with our cast here. It's amazing to run this game for all of you again. I love running this niche game that I just dote on all the time. And you're all amazing at this. And speaking of amazing, you all in chat as well have been great today. It's been lovely to see the interaction. You're always great. And speaking of great, we're going to do something not quite as great to one of our cast members today, as their character is about to gain corruption. So, I asked you, who should gain corruption today? And you all voted. And it was hard. Some of you were saying how you really didn't want any of them to get it, and the teamwork is a thing, but others voted. And unfortunately, somebody has to gain some sort of stain from today. And you all decided it would be Detective Tillie Griffiths, who now will gain 1 level of corruption. So, until next time, you've all been brilliant. I'm a Hollowtail. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Hollowtail, where I do RPG videos and tips and tutorials and all sorts of stuff like that. And you can find me every week here running this brilliant game every Thursday, same time. That's 4 p.m. EDT for now. I think it changes next week. American times are difficult. And aside from that, you can also find me on Mondays over on my own channel on Twitch, where you can find me doing Mistborn, Pirates of Ravenloft, and there's going to be some spooky Halloween stuff going on soon, so keep an eye out for that. But until next time, beware goes bump in the night. You want to make sure that it's at least not Magdalena, because she might eat you. So, until next time, thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.